Good evening and welcome to the FBL Community Radical Endurance Championship live from Zolder in Belgium. The broadcasting team today supplied by JBB Broadcasting. I am James Parfitt and today I've got Luke Daniels in the booth with me, and then I got Tyler Oldham is on production this evening, so he is back doing the production. Now, what an absolutely epic evening of racing we have got for you this evening, and was an absolute incredible race at Mosport last week. Now, obviously, with the Radical Endurance Championship we are running every week, there has been changes in the schedule, as we know, because obviously, you know, we needed to get things sorted out and get it done by the end of the iRacing season. So currently for last week in round 7, we had Ty Kim was your victor, closely followed by John McHutchison. And then Mike Bousson was coming third in Mosports. Now, obviously, that itself is massive because John is here tonight, Ty is here tonight, and Mike is here tonight. But also, one of the returning people this week is our very own Dennis Kiriakopoulos. He is back in after missing last week's session. So, there you go. But I hope you are well. I hope you have joined us in the YouTube chat. If you have, please hit that thumbs up, turn on the bells for notifications, and don't forget to hit the big old subscribe button. Right, as we switch over to the race screen, I am going to bring Luke into the booth this evening. Luke, how are you?
Doing great, James. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. All good. I'm quite happy. Everybody, you know, it's very hot over here in the UK at the moment. So, yeah, it's just a bit of a hot one. But apart from that, I'm all good there, dude. How are you?
Doing great. Although I gotta say, I'm in Texas, so you won't really get a whole lot of sympathy from me on your hot temperatures. But fortunately, we're not in for a hot one today. Although the racing action could be hot. Track temp is a nice 77 degrees in Fahrenheit, in the mid 20s in Celsius. And track conditions look nice. We've got a nice field here, and should be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a track temp of 25 degrees, August the 7th, 2022 at 19:38. Don't forget, we've got a 90-minute race lined up for you this evening, guys. 90 minutes, which gives us a 24x limit. As well, the drivers do have fast repairs, so they are able to go in. Now, they only have 2 fast repairs, so they can only go in twice. Now, qualifying format, again, has changed. Okay, so the qualifying format has changed for this week. We are going into a 30-minute qualifying session. The drivers can go out, but their setup will only allow them to do 5 laps. Then they'll have to go back in, do another, come back in, fill up, do another 5 and go back out again. So there we go. So that itself is going to bring forward some interesting racing. So there you go. Hopefully tonight it should be an absolute barnstormer of a race. We do have 14 cars on track here for a 90-minute session. So hopefully it should be a good one here tonight. Luke, are you a lover of Zolder? Because I know some people don't like Zolder in general. What's your whole sort of perspective on it?
Well, I have to say, I've actually never driven this track, so I'm going in with a pretty neutral opinion. Although I will say, from watching these cars lap the track, it looks like a pretty fun place. Probably difficult to pass. I see there's some tight chicanes, hard braking areas, as we see John Mutchison make a mistake right there and miss it. That seems like that's probably an easy mistake to do when you come up on it that quickly. But I think it's probably a pretty fun track to drive, probably challenging and very technical. It's going to really demand a lot of the drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. This this track itself is kind of how can I put it? It's like a Marmite track. You either love Marmite or you hate Marmite, and this track is kind of the same way. Some people absolutely love it, some people don't. Now, I'm not a fan of this track personally. It's not high up there on my I must go drive this track. But others seem to really like it, and I think that's going to be the thing tonight. It's got some tricky chicanes, some really tricky corners as we're coming down here now into turn 6 chicane. It's literally like a 90-degree kind of corner. They've got to be careful and try and not take too much curb. But I think, Luke, tonight, you know, these drivers are experienced. They have got 90 minutes to get this done. And I think they've kind of just got to try and concentrate for the whole 90, haven't they? Because otherwise it's just not going to work.
Yeah, 90 minutes is a long time. There's a lot that can happen there, and also can't be focused too much on just your hot lap pace. You have to also remember you're going to need to make 2 pit stops as per the rules. The last one has to be more than 10 minutes from the end of the race. And so you also have to focus on your entries and exits to pit road, getting a good in and out lap, and also adapting to the car's handling as it changes when the fuel load burns off. These radicals are very light cars, and it doesn't really take much to make a significant change in how the car feels. So it's not just about how fast you can be right now, but also all the way through the race.
Yeah, exactly. The 2 pit stops, as we have explained, guys, you do need to mandatory take. Now, don't forget as well, they don't have to take fuel on the second stop or tyres, but they do need to at some point during the race. Now, obviously, what does that mean? It normally means we have John McHutchinson pulling off a really fancy pit stop where we'll go into the pits for the first time, fill up on fuel, take tyres, and that's him. Then he'll go in for the second stop. He'll stop in the box and drive straight off because he hasn't got anything to do. So there you go. He does a very good job of that one, Luke, and it normally works well for him. So the fuel strategy is going to be a bit mixed tonight, I think, between the drivers. And, yeah, I think it's definitely going to play a big part tonight. So,
Yes, it will. Any idea how long we can expect these drivers to go on a full tank of fuel?
well, we generally, John will go, if we base it basically off John McHutchison, he normally goes within about, they have the same starting fuel as the fixed setup. So they have the same starting fuel for the fixed setup, which normally gives them about 35 minutes of fuel. And then they can go in and fill the tank right up to the very, very top, and then they'll last to the end. So, yeah, so they can go for a full, basically, under the hour, they can pretty much go for a full race this evening.
Okay.
So, yeah, so we've got basically 24 minutes of qualifying. Currently, we've got Dennis Kiriakopoulos on pole position on a 1:23.19. Marco Tolman, 1:23.45. Mike Bousson, 24:02. John McHutchinson down in 4th currently on a 24:13. Now, obviously, it's looking like a 23, early 23 should get you pole position, Luke.
Well, it's looking like it for sure, but like you said, these drivers get about 5 laps and then they can go out there and reattempt. So with the tires being hot, if you come in and just top off with fuel, keep your same hot tires out there, maybe that 23.1's not safe. There's still 23 minutes left in qualifying.
Yeah, normally we get a good understanding from these drivers what sort of lap times they can do, and normally they are, normally we see the 1:23 and we think, okay, so are we going to reach a 1:22? Maybe, possibly, you know, not always. You know, sometimes the limit is your 1:23, and that's as much as you can push, because if you've got the likes of Dennis Kiriakopoulos, Marco Tolman, Stephen Place all doing 1:23s, I'd be very shocked, I think, if we can get in, somebody bangs in a 1:22 tonight. So there we go.
That is a good point.
It's a very
However,
tricky one.
the track is coming down, so that's something to consider. It's almost nighttime, really. Nearly 8 o'clock local time, sim time, that is. And maybe the track temp might cool off a little bit towards the end, and we might see somebody sneak in just that slightly faster lap.
Maybe we'll have to keep an eye out. Don't forget, these guys can go in after 5 laps, refuel for another 5, and away they go. So there you go. Stay tuned, and I hope you are all well. Get your drinks, get your popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the next 90 minutes of action here on the FBL YouTube channel. this evening. So, yeah, stay tuned because it's going to be an absolutely barnstorming race. We're looking at the moment, nobody has really been out past 3 laps. John McHutchinson did about just over a 4-lapper. So we'll have to keep an eye on the times and see what seems to be the limit of the fuel. I think maybe sort of 3, maybe 4 laps could be the limits before they need to go in and get refuel. John McHutchison just done at 1:23.25, fastest sector 1. So, you know, the laps are getting round about that early 23s, Luke. It's whether or not we're going to get this miracle 1:22.8, 1:22.9 that we kind of think that they may get to if possible.
Yeah, there's really no telling. But it seems Dennis Kyriakopoulos is pretty confident in himself right now and has the car still sitting in pit lane. I think he's just kind of riding and waiting or sitting around waiting to see if anybody can beat his time. That is a pretty small gap between first and second, less than 700ths, but we'll see if if he's able to hold on to that. Actually, Dennis is actually leaving pit lane right now, so looks like he's going to go out there and try again and see if he can go into those elusive 122s.
Yeah, as we see, Anders Liliorde, he has just gone third on a 1:23.26 currently. John in second, Dennis in first. Now, I'd like to bring up the fact that we were talking last week about driver rituals, and the fact that that what they do before each race. Now, we were talking about our very own Damien G, who basically eats. He seems to eat before every race, whether it would be a curry, a fish and chips, or a McDonald's, or some form of takeaway, and he seems to be eating quite happily. Now, this week, he's come out and we've had a chat in the Discord, and basically he hasn't. His children have gone away for a week. He didn't tell me what he was eating, but he did say he would eat early. So Damien G has hopefully eaten early. This is a weird thing, rituals, though, Luke, aren't they? You know, because some people don't change socks or keep the same race underpants or don't take the gloves off before they go asleep or something. It's a weird one, rituals, but Damien G just seems to eat.
That is interesting because around here we've actually got kind of a different approach. The superstition is typically like you don't want to eat right before a race. Some racers will even go as far as to say that like eating chicken on race day is bad luck, or racing in green is bad luck. And so you go to the local dirt tracks in my area, you won't find many green cars out there. You might find a couple rebels, but that's one that really seems to hold strong.
Yeah, green's a funny old colour. I'm the same way. I won't have it in my house. I don't like it. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it's from my nan or who turned around and once says, "Green's bad luck, James. Don't ever in your house." I was like, "All right, nan." And she tried to give me them big wet sloppy kisses that nan does before you leave the house. Do you know what I mean? Where you just sit back as a child and go, "No, nan, keep your lips to yourself." You know what I mean? I don't want to get involved with that one. But it's a weird one because I don't know. Do you have any superstitions before you sort of look at racing or doing anything?
Yeah, I actually do. I don't want my car to have green on it. If I'm doing road racing, I'll allow it. I'm more okay with it there. But any oval racing car, dirt or asphalt, I'm not gonna have any sort of green on there, and whether it's the real car or the virtual one. Um, I might try and do something for good luck. Like I've got like a little koozie for my drink if I'm getting in the rig, and I'll grab a Pato Award koozie, thinking that he's really fast. Maybe some of that will rub off on me and give me that little bit of extra speed that I need. And then if I'm driving a real car, I don't wear any racing shirt. Like I won't wear someone else's shirt on race day.
Wow.
I don't know why. It's just a little superstition I have.
Yeah,
As we see, John McHutchinson just ran a 23.096. That puts him provisional pole and less than a tenth off of the elusive 122s.
Exactly. So we may get there. I don't have any, to be fair. I don't do anything. I can only get in my rig for one side, so it's not like I can pick which side I can get in the rig from. Generally, no, I don't really have any. I sound quite boring when I say it like that, but no, no superstitions for me whatsoever, to be honest. Everyone's different. Here as we go into the last 16 minutes of quali. John McHutchison has just taken pole on a 123.1. Dennis Kiriakopoulos 123.19. Anders Liliode on a 123.26. So there you go. Hopefully it will get into the 122s that we're hoping for, and seeing how this works on as we're on now board with last week's winner, Tai Kim. Absolutely crushed Motorsport last week. It was an incredible drive from Tai himself. New into the series, so you know, he's not quite up there with the championship, but you would have wanted to see him from the very beginning, because he is doing an absolutely stellar job. Let's bring you up the championship really quickly as we go into the last 15 minutes of quali. So currently John McHutchison is in first on 344 points. Eric Hanoi in second on 240. Dennis Kiriakopoulos in third on 228. Then we've got Mike Bousson on a 184. Nia Gluskic on a 182. Stefan Sheen 173. David Walters on a 170. Anders Liliode in 8th on a 151. Alphonse Ruiz in 9th on 119. Marco Tolman in 10th place, 115. He's tied with Graham Brown, also on 115. Damien G, our man with the burgers, is in 12th place on 105. Andrew Horsewood on 101. Daniele Cascado in 14th, currently on a 99. He's sharing that place with David Rolliston. Colin Wynn down in 90. Sandro Capella on an 83. Ivan Bramer in 18th on 55. Tai Kim, there he is, new to the series, done 2 races so far, in 19th on 54 points. And Gary Turubi rounds out our top 20 on 52. So we just had Graham Brown into the session as well. So we've currently got 15 cars now on circuit ready to go for this race. And I'm hoping, you know, we saw last week in Motorsports, Luke, the people were using fast repairs. People had turned on fast repairs by mistake when they didn't need to, you know, and then they had a few incidents. Motorsport was a bit littered from turn 1 around to turn 2, turn 4, that there was incidents of people hitting the walls, you know, and they run out of incidents, and then we had quite a few people in the pits. I think Gary Truby, poor bless him, was in the pits for like an hour and something minutes, as we can see one of the moving Matters cars there. I'm probably guessing that's Graham Brown, gone round in the last chicane. Are we expecting, do you think, the same kind of collisions, the same incidents, you know, because this is easily done, what we're watching here from Damien G?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a big hit. I would say, honestly, yes. Although Zolder is a very different track from Mosport, it does still have a lot of hard braking zones, and that's going to be a great place to try and make an aggressive pass. And I think there's a good chance we see several cars collected in a lap 1 incident, just trying to push hard and take whatever spots you can get. And all it takes is really one person to miss their braking point, as we just saw on board right there. That could happen very easily on lap 1 on cold tires, and if you're behind somebody and you do that, that could take out 3-4 cars right there. And then, you know, there's lots of possible strategy options when people are mixing with different fuel loads. Somebody's got a light fuel load, and at the end of their stint, somebody's just coming out of the pits on a heavy tank. They could have big pace mix-up, and there could be a big chance for collisions there. So I definitely think there could be a lot of, I don't want to say carnage, but could be a fair number of incidents here, particularly the infamous lap 1, turn 1.
Yeah, I think that's what they've got to be careful of this evening as well, because otherwise they're not going to be very happy in this 90-minute race. Now, we have just had Damien G's food habits have just been put through to me. He ate a Chinese, leftover Chinese from last night, reheated, and he ate it tonight. So there we go, Damien G eating a Chinese. Everybody does everybody different. As we can see, our very own Heyday in chat. If I'm starting an enduro, I'll refuse to do the race practice laps in practice before it. We'll only do quali. See, if depending on the session I'm in, I think on that one, Luke. I think depending if I'm in an official in iRacing, and I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I could be in an MX-5 at some point, or for instance, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not going to survive turn one if I don't qualify out the front here, so I'm going to go and sit in the pits and start from the pits. I know it's not always the loved, done thing here, but sometimes it's just safer, isn't it? You know what I mean? At least you make it round turn one.
Yeah, exactly. I was on a team for the 24 Hours of Spa when we started from the pits, and very nearly had a podium finish. Ended up getting 4th, and it came down to the last lap. Granted, we're not top split, of course, but it definitely helped us avoid a lot of wrecked cars in the first lap. It's a lot. I'd be surprised how many drivers forget it's a 24-hour race. It's 24-hour, 24-lap, whatever. It's like that old saying goes, you can't lose a race in the first lap, but you can dang sure win it there. At least
that's what they think.
Yeah.
That's what people think. They think they can win it in turn one. And I always find, whenever I'm sat in an official race, as we come into the last 10 minutes, guys, as well, but qualifying, the drivers have settled down a bit. We have got McHutchinson first, Walter second, Liliorde third, Kiriakopolis fourth, Tolman fifth, came in sixth, Hanoi seventh, place in eighth, Mike Busson ninth, and Sandro Capella in 10th. I always find in officials, when I'm sat on the starting grid, and it's normally the first driver I find that turns around and says, good luck, everyone. I can guarantee when I go round the first turn, he's the first driver to go and crash into somebody. Always. Always, always, always happens. I was going to see David Roston recovering his car from the chicane at turn 5. But that's what I find. So I sometimes sit back and just start from the pits. Yeah, he's just gone round it, overcooked it. And around he went. So I start from the pits on certain races because I just find it that I want to survive. So it's easier starting from the pits.
Yeah, you start to pick up on these sort of stereotypes of people that you race against. Like the guy who says, let's all take it easy on lap 1, guys. Or I'm just here for the SR. Stay away from them.
Yeah.
If you see anyone with the Red Bull livery on, definitely give them a wide berth.
Why?
Because chances are they're a huge Verstappen fan.
Why?
No offense to any Verstappen fans, but I find it's pretty dangerous to be next to one on the racetrack.
I think that's the thing. They stick a Red Bull livery on the car and they instantly think they're F1. They instantly think they're Max Verstappen. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a Verstappen fan, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to go and stick my car under a Red Bull livery, and I'm certainly not going to drive like I'm an F1 driver. So, listen, guys, if you are a Max Verstappen fan, which we appreciate, and you do stick a Red Bull livery on your car, please accept the fact that you're not Max Verstappen, okay? Just because you got Red Bull on your car, you're not going to go from last to first in the first turn. It doesn't happen. I'd like to point that out to you all at home if you are all here this evening. Much love to you. I don't know, Luke, to be honest, it's a weird one, isn't it? How certain things, like, we've all come up with the same thing, like, Red Bull, don't do it. But then again, I think Ty Kim has got a Red Bull livery on his car, if I'm not mistaken. He has. And he's a good driver. He's safe, he's clean, he's fast, he gets out in front, you know what I mean? And I've probably said that, and he'll be in the first corner incident. but look, it's that stereotypical thing that we see in it, really.
Well, it could be a reverse psychology thing on his part. Maybe he's the type to put on a Red Bull livery and then just remind everyone over the mic before the race, hey, let's all take it easy on the first lap, guys. It's a long race, no need to be super aggressive. And then everybody's going to think, oh, God, this guy is about to go full send and cause who knows how big of a pileup. Let's give him a wide berth. And then, it's like smooth sailing, and he's got clear track ahead of him.
Maybe. So if you have a Ferrari livery, you just ignore them. Their strategy will let you pass anyway. Either that or their pit crew will get it wrong.
Or they'll break down.
Yeah, they'll break down, or they're putting too much fuel and be in the pits for an extra half an hour or whatever, put on the wrong tyres. Hey, look, let's not diss the Ferrari guys. I'm sure they'll get it right after the summer break, when they've all had the riot act read to them about the fact that that strategy guy at Ferrari, though, he does severely need firing, or at least told how to do it properly, because he does seem to struggle with the strategies for the Ferrari guys. Not a lot is changing in the timing tower. We've still got the top 5 as they are currently. The only change is Marco Tolman has jumped Ty Kim for 6th place. Eric Hanoi is in 8th. And our very own Sandra Capella is still in 10th place. So there we go. Yes, that is true. Do you know what? I've just read that, right? And it says, sure, they'll get it right after the summer break. F1 Manager releases soon. I bet you they're on the game. They're on there, aren't they? They're on there trying to figure out what they need to do. You can just see it now. Bless the Ferrari boys in F1. If you are a Ferrari fan in chat, or if you are watching it back then, I do deeply apologise. But, you know, it has been somewhat of a farcical season for the guys at Ferrari. Bless them. I don't know.
Definitely has.
Yeah, most definitely.
But just remember, when we come back from the summer break and you're watching the next F1 race, if you're a Sky Q or a Sky Glass customer, press the red button on your remote to become Ferrari strategist.
Like a free job advert. Anybody out there, we'll put it up to the public vote.
Maybe that's the problem this whole time. They've been pressing the red button thinking they're going to watch live highlights alongside the live action, and what ends up happening is they accidentally end up calling strategy for Ferrari.
Maybe. Who actually knows? I don't know. I can't quite, you know, they need to look at themselves and really sit down and figure out what is going on. But for at the moment, guys, we haven't got any of them troubles here tonight. As we can see, 15 cars on track. Graham Brown is the last one on a 124, 3-2-4. John McHutchinson broken into the 22s, a 122.98. So only just there from John McHutchinson. Broke into the elusive 122s that we were talking about earlier on. And he has only gone and done it. David Walters is now in 2nd place on a 123.148. Kyriakopoulos in 3rd on a 123.150. We got the 122s, Luke, that we thought we were going to get.
Yes, we have. And see, David Walters improved on his time quite a bit. That's suggesting maybe the track's taking some rubber, and there might be a little bit more grip out there. So it's possible that Mick Hutchinson might not be the only one to do so. Let's see if Kyriakopoulos has it in him as well.
Well, hopefully he should do. Dennis is naturally quick anyway. You know, he's shown his powers that be, and considering he drives on a G290 steering wheel. So it's not like he's driving along on a Fanatec or anything like that, and he literally still manages to G29 steering wheel. That's it. G29. Sorry, just corrected there. Yeah, it's the G29 steering wheel, which, just to be fair, I've actually got as well. And he literally is just naturally quick. I can imagine him if you. It just goes to show, though, I think that it doesn't always matter what the equipment you've got. It's how you use it. I think that's the thing.
Oh, for sure. There's actually a good number of drivers who can be crazy high I-rating, like 4 or 5K, even some like racing in the Pro Series with just a Logitech G29. It's a very good wheel, and I've heard great things about it. It seems like, yes, if you really want to, you could definitely be really, really quick with not a lot of money spent on your equipment.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Dennis is currently 4.6. So, you know, it's not like he's a slouch behind the wheel of the Radical. You know, I've got it, but I'm, you know, about 3K less than him. I do kind of, I suppose, to advance that, actually get on the racetrack. It might actually help me rather than sitting up in the booth, which is where I spend most of my weeknights. But here we go, guys. Last 2 minutes. John McHutchinson on pole, Dennis Kyriakopoulos second, David Walters third, Lily Orde fourth, Ty Kim now up into 5th place on a 123.216, Mike Bousson 123.436, and then also Marco Tolman 123.453. The Red Bull is getting closer to the front. Yes, he is. Ty Kim is picking up the pace. He's gone green again in sector 2 and 3. So we'll have to pay attention and see what he can do in sector 4, which we're going to pick up very shortly. Just about now is yellow, unfortunately, coming into the final sector here. What is Ty Kim going to be able to do in Sector 5 as he races down to the line. Up for it as he goes up into 5th gear as he crosses over the line. It's green again. Oh, he goes second.
Second quick, wow.
Second at the end of the 126 left. He goes in and puts in a 122.997. Literally a 100th of a second between McHutchinson and Kim. There are the I ratings. You can see Ty Kim is nearly 4K. Dennis Kiriakopoulos on a B license at 4.6K. I'm somewhere down here in 12th there with Bjertnæs on a 1.5 on a B. So, you know, hey, that's me. I don't know whereabouts do you sit on that on that table, Luke?
Pretty much around there, 16, 17s, roughly.
Yeah.
It fluctuates. Every time I run like a high downforce car and LMP2 or IndyCar is my personal favorite, I tend to do pretty well and can gain a lot of I rating, but then every time I run GT3 cars or touring cars, I drop like a rock. I'm pretty sure if I stuck to just GT3, I'd probably be like 1200 or something. I am not good at those cars.
No, I've been down that low, mate. I had a moment where I was up at 1.85, I believe. And I thought, yes, I'm going to get 2K soon. And then all of a sudden, I had about, excuse me. I had about 5 races where I didn't finish and I ended up down below 1,000 IR. I was like, oh my God. Oh, and then I had to build it back up, but now sitting at about 1.6, I think, as we are at the end of qualifying. So there you go. Let's see. Now we'll just wait for Ty to finish his lap. Marco Tolman is purple in Sector 7. So that's an interesting one. Ty Kim has just gone purple in Sector 2, in Sector 1 as well. So if we can pick up on Ty, and let's see what he can do in Sector 2. Absolutely fly. Oh, he's yellow, but then again, he might make that up from his purple. So he's really putting in the amounts of work needed there as well. So, yeah. Let's see what happens with Ty Kim on his 122.997. He goes into Sector 3. What is he going to hit? Green in Sector 3. He's got a purple, yellow, yellow, green. Car number 991. Flying down to the finishing line. Oh, it's not going to be enough. Oh, it is enough. Oh, wow. Yeah, we went pole on a 122.901. Wow, the Red Bull snatched it at the end there. And I got that completely wrong. I didn't think he would have enough in him there, Luke.
Yeah, me neither. I really thought that John McHutchinson's time was safe, but what a drive from Ty Kim to snatch the pole position away, the very last lap of qualifying, the last car to finish his lap, and taking it away at the last second after time has expired. That is definitely something to, wow, that's great driving from him. And John McHutchinson likely is kicking himself, thinking his time was safe, watching the timer tick down to 0 and thinking, oh yeah, I just got myself a pole position, only to see it disappear at the very last second. Imagine he'll be trying to drive hard to make up for that one for sure.
Exactly right, guys. So here we go into now. Gridding up for race 1. Let's see who, when we bring you up the grid. So here we go. There go. Ty Kim is in pole. Snatched it at the end. John McHutchison in second. Dennis Kiriakopoulos third. David Walters fourth. Anders Liliorde in 5th, Mike Buson in 6th, Marco Tolman 7th, Eric Hanoi in 8th, Stephen Place, Team Radline there in 9th, Sandro Capella down in 10th, David Rolliston in 11th, Christopher Bjertnæs in 12th, Gary Truby 13th, and Damien G down in 14th place. We have Graham Brown in 15th and Luke Daniels in 16th. So there we go. Right. As we wait for our pole man to get out on track, ready to go. Ty Kim is currently in 1st place, pole position there for Ty, and it's it's they've got to get off the start. I think that's got to be the main thing, isn't it, Luke? I think that's the thing.
Yeah, standing starts are always tricky in these cars, and that can definitely cause a lot of mayhem as they come up into that hard braking zone immediately afterwards. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some aggressive moves being made, and 2 and 3 wide, and it'll be a little bit tricky to figure out and to get it all sorted out because 3 cars into one does not go. But you just got to get the feeling that somebody's going to try it. You just know.
Well, I'm a little bit worried. They've got about 10 seconds, Ty Kim and John McCutcheon, to get onto track here. So whereabouts are they? John is on. Where is Ty? Otherwise, he's going to be going out of the pits. He's got 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Mike Boost on, however. He hasn't made it. Right, here we go. We are going to be underway from Zolder. We are live, and now we are away. Ty Kim has got an absolute barnstorming start. John McCutcheon did not. Dropped him down into third. Oh, contact between John and Anders Liliorde. Dennis Kyrgiakopoulos, Eric Hanoi there. John now drops all the way down to the back of the field. And unfortunately there, he is off at the same time. Anders Liliorde, Marco Tolman have come to contact as well. We'll have a look back at some of them ones very, very shortly, as we got Graham Brown, Damien G here racing round up into turn 2. Not a great start for John McCutcheon. Dropped him down into 12th place there, Luke. He's got some work to do.
Yeah, he's definitely got some damage there too. He might need to be ducking into the pits for a fast repair. You mentioned earlier that the strategy will allow you to fill up the tank with full fuel. You might got to wonder if he's going to try an early pit stop and really top that thing up with fuel. As we see a replay of what happened here. He's taking it easy. Didn't get a great start. 2 cars go by him. Sticks to the outside in the first chicane. Oh, in second place just got loose, and poor McCutcheon had nowhere to go. Nothing he really could have done to avoid that. That's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, and as we saw
his
it,
race is already impacted.
Saw it further down the line. Marco Tolman and Liliorde come to contact. After that, Liliorde getting a big old slide on there, which caused the initial incident. Marco Tolman gets split by Eric Hanoi, and Liliorde just gets out of sync again. And unfortunately, Marco Tolman, John McCutcheon has been involved in another incident with Christopher Bjertnæs. Oh, they're both in the pits. So let's ignore the fact that he turns around and said they've crashed. So hopefully this will be where the strategy lies here. And literally these guys are probably going to fill up and keep going to the end now, I would have thought, or until at least as far as they can go. So that's just them going into the pit box. John McCutcheon, Christopher Bjertnæs in the pits at the end of lap 1. Back up front, we've got Stephen Place. He's being chased down by David Walters currently as well. Ty Kim has only got 0.1 of a second. Let's pick up the leader, please, because he is currently under the cosh from Kyrgiakopoulos, who's just gone past him down into turn 7 there. So that's Dennis Kyrgiakopoulos out in front with about half a second to go. A lot of action, Luke, and we've still got an hour 27 left on the clock.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, if this is just the first 3 minutes, can't imagine what the next 97 or 87 are going to be like.
It's, well, yeah, let's hope here. As you see, Ty Kim got a very slow exit coming out of 5. Oh, he brakes and allows Kyrgiakopoulos through. So, yeah, brakes and lets Kyrgiakopoulos through. So Ty Kim now is just going to follow Kyrgiakopoulos with Eric Hanoi behind him. Damien G looks like he's locked up in his own battle here. David Walters and Stephen Place. Ooh, goes out on the right hand side. Stephen got a bad exit, and unfortunately that's allowed David Walters through. So there we go, David Walters is through. Damien G now trying to chase down Sandro Capella. We kind of stay off Sandro throughout the race, Luke, partly because he doesn't have the best broadcasted races sometimes. It's kind of got this superstition that he just doesn't do well. We had one good race where he finished 5th. I think it was at Nordschleife, if I'm not mistaken. And then last week in Mosport, it was a little bit of a different situation for him. Mike Buson has put in chat, something has gone wrong. That would be why Mike is where it is. He's 15th. He's not even out on track. And I believe Mike has not started the race. So we'll try and get some information on that one. But currently, Mike Buson, there he is there. I believe he's just leaving now. But he's leaving 3 laps down. That's going to be a tough one for Buson there as he comes out right in the corner. Exit Liliorde goes into the pits as well. So there is Mike. He's just waiting because he is on the exit of the pits, which is on the entry into turn 1. So he sits there nicely and waits. But up front, we've still got Dennis Kirakopoulos and Tai Kim battling it out for the lead. That's tough, Luke, when you do your qualifying, you're in 5th, and then you go to track, and it doesn't work. Nothing happens.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but perhaps just an iRacing glitch or black screen, some sort of technical issue most likely. It does seem like there's been an increase in people having just random weird issues with iRacing. I know I've had problems with my headset wanting to cut out, and I would just lose all iRacing audio, and I've had a lot of people have issues with just the sim crashing for no reason, and it's not like they have a lot of background processes running or anything, so no telling what happened to him, but definitely unfortunate. He's going to be battling hard and got an uphill climb starting 3 laps down. It's not the way he wanted his race to go for sure.
Yeah, absolutely not. He's back into the pits. Something isn't right with Mike Buson. He's back into the pits. We'll try and get some information from him when we can. I have messaged him, so we'll kind of try and see what happened there. So hopefully we can find out what happened with Buson. But I can't really say. The thing is, though, as well, is like I said to you earlier on off broadcast, I crashed twice just trying to get into the session. So, and that's the first time that's probably crashed for me all day. My son's been on my PC for most of the day, where I've been doing, as we all do, the jobs for the wife, because, happy wife, easy life and all that. And literally, my son's been on all day. I get on, go to join the session, and it crashes on me twice. Who knows? Who knows what is going on with iRacing?
There is no telling. But I'll tell you one thing that's going on is, we see Damien G. Slow's got rear damage there. Looks like he might have had an incident in the chicane. And Christopher Bjerknes leaving the pits.
It's back
into the pits.
He's back in the pits. Been in once already. Not quite sure what happened. No, it's a bit of a weird one. As we'll have a look back. Nothing doing on my screen on that one. So, yeah, not quite sure what happened there. Damien G went off track. We can have a look back at the Damien G off track. Comes into the chicane at 5 and manages to keep it out the barrier.
So he already had the rear damage.
Mm.
That probably contributed right there to his half spin. But good job on him keeping it out of the wall and keeping the damage from getting any worse. He might be able to make it to his first scheduled pit stop before having to take a fast repair.
Mm.
But interestingly, we see David Walters down in 4th on the last lap, set the fastest lap of the race. Not far off of where he qualified, actually. So right now, running just a little bit faster than the leaders, who are all running in the 23.6s to 23.8s, and it's a pretty tight group right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and Marco Tolman as well. Him and Graham Brown were locked in as well. But we've got these little pockets of battles. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6 to drive in solo. Then we've got 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the 12s of Damien G and Anders Liliorde. You can see there on the track map on the right-hand side of your screen. These little pockets. There are your losers and gainers. Gary Truby up 7, along with Graham Brown. John McHutchison down 11. He's still driving around in 13th place, closing down on Anders Liliorde after their contact in turn 1. Eric Hanoi is up 5, Kiriakopoulos up 2, and Tai Kim down 1. But that's some pretty significant gains there from Gary Truby and Graham Brown. But they've kept it safe, and I think that's what we were talking about in the qualifying, was literally to keep it safe through that turn 1.
Yeah, that's definitely key. And the unfortunate thing about turn 1 is sometimes there's nothing you can really do about that. Just ask John McCutcheon. But he is running some pretty good laps to work on his recovery drive here. He's nearly a second a lap quicker than like the 5 cars ahead of him. And if he filled up that tank, that shows a lot for his pace, because he's going to have a heavier fuel load than just about everybody else on track right now. But he's still catching him, and if he's got enough fuel, he should only have one more pit stop. So on the same cycle, the same strategy as everyone else, then definitely could get back in the top 10, maybe even a top 5. There's still a lot of racing left to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him here, as we see David Walters and Eric Hanoi. At one point, they were side by side into turn 1. Eric turned around and said no. He took his nose off and didn't have it, and wasn't allowing David Walters through. There are the lap times from Kiriakopoulos and McHutchison over the last 5 laps there. John was nearly half a second quicker on lap 6. Kiriakopoulos now, but David Walters is looking like going around the outside of Eric Hanoi. Is he going to send it up into the chicane? He's not this time around, as these guys go up around turn 6, double right-hander of turn 7. And then they're going to be racing down into the short, sharp corner of turn 8. It's looking very spicy with these two. But these two have got to be careful here, Luke, because they're fighting, which we get, and they're racing drivers, which we get, and they're going to be going at it, which we get. But at the same time, the two leaders are slowly eking out that 1/10 per lap. Oh, David Walters has missed it. Missed his braking point. Nearly joined into the back of Eric Hanoi. That's a shame. But that happens in close racing.
Yeah, it does. He just locked up on the brakes right there, trying to stay off him. I was just, if Rolliston goes around, don't think he had help. It just a tricky final corner there, but got it pointed straight again, kept it off the wall. No damage, but that is definitely going to hurt him with Damien G. It's going to close up that gap a bit, I'm sure. As we see here, the battle for 5th, actually. Stephen Plates and Gary Truby, side by side.
Yeah, that's
inside and get the job done.
Yeah, there's David Rolliston and Gary Truby. Stephen Place about 6 seconds up the road there, but Damien G and David Rolliston having a little bit of a scrap. Gary made it kind of very easy for him there. David didn't really have to worry about putting too much of the car in front. Truby there was quite happily to move over, but this is Graham Brown's spin on the gas too early, hit the curb. Yep. There we go, and around he goes on the gas too early. The car hadn't settled from his initial bump of his entry, and then unfortunately had bounced the car around. But Truby now has got the ever-looming closing Marco Tolman. Damien G, after having an absolute barnstorming start, cannot get the chicane at turn 5 right at the moment. Brake a little bit earlier, Mr. G. And hopefully you should be able to get that car in, because I can guarantee he's either gone and done 2 things. He's missed his braking point, took it in too fast, hit the brake in mid-corner, and unfortunately tried to go, yep, there you go. And that's what happened. So Damien G is not loving the chicane at Klein chicane at turn 5 currently. Hour and 16 remaining. You know, people have moved. People are in the pits. We're talking about John McHutchison being down in 13th place, which is very unusual for him, being that far down, but got involved in the contact with Anders Liliorde in turn 1. As we can see, Gary Truby now, Marco Tolman. Marco should be on our left. There he is. Truby just allows him to take the line and carries on. He gets an unfortunate exit out there. Tolman still on the left-hand side. You can see him now in the orange and black. There as well. Don't believe Truby's going to fight this. He's going to try and let him just pull him along and pull him along the racetrack, I feel. There are the lap times still at the bottom there as well. You know, people have made their moves. People have settled in, and we've still got an hour and 15 left. You know, if you're sitting in John McCutcheon's position now, where are your mind at, Luke? Where are you sitting there thinking, right, well, I need to now go and try and do something? Because you've just seen Ty Kim set the fastest lap of the race of a 1:23.485. What's your strategy? What's your game plan?
Strategy at this point is pretty simple. I mean, you should have filled up the car with fuel as much as you could on that first stop, and then just drive hard, qualifying laps every lap. Trying to keep it clean, of course, but you can't really afford to relax too much. It's guys like Ty Kim, you know, he can afford to bide his time behind Kyriakopoulos, as long as he doesn't lose sight of that rear wing, as he can just stay close onto him, maybe pressure him into a mistake, just wait for an opportunity to pick his move. But McCutcheon needs to be laying down good laps consistently, which he is. He's running 23s, and he's got a lot more pace than almost everybody in front of him. Lily Horde is matching him a lot of times on these laps, but he very well could be recovering up to a top 5. I think that's very possible with this much racing left to go. However, that is, I hope for his sake he's not looking at the lap times that the leaders are setting, because that is a blistering pace, and it could be a little bit demoralizing when you're that far back after lap 1.
Yeah, the thing is as well is the leader's currently last time out 1:24.7. We'll keep an eye on McCutcheon's time. He's currently in 13th. He's quite a ways, 30 seconds away from these guys. So, you know, I think the biggest thing for John is, A, he's got to keep that radical on track. B, to not demoralize his work that he's put in already after his lap 1 incident. He cannot afford to be lapped. And I think from his point of view, if he spins that car or damages that car, there's a chance he could be. And that itself is going to be a little bit demoralizing anyway, isn't it? Knowing that you're probably one of the fastest men on the circuit, but yet you've just been lapped. You know, it's kind of like a Lewis Hamilton getting lapped by Verstappen at the beginning of the season. It's not a nice feeling, is it?
No, it's not. Getting lapped is never a nice feeling. But, you know, you talk about making a mistake and losing the car, like we've seen Damien G do twice already, and I can't really be too hard on him, because I've driven these cars a little bit. They are tricky to drive for sure. So see what happened here with Marco Tolman.
That's Rolliston in front. Ooh.
Nice move up the inside.
Yeah, Rollo didn't kind of react quick enough to the fact that Tolman had carried a lot more speed around turn 1 on the entry to 2, and didn't carry much more, didn't realise that he was going to be there. So, yeah, nice driving from them both to avoid the accident there.
Here's the battle for 4th with Hanoi and David Walters, and Walters actually on the previous lap just at the fastest lap of the race. So he's closing in and could be fighting for a podium spot here pretty soon. It's amazing, after all these laps, like that top 4 is still relatively close together, all within sight of each other.
Yeah, I think that's that's just the nature of this league. They're all fairly around, you know, fast racers, and they know where their battles are. They know who they're racing against, and you've generally got good, clean racing, you know, unless they've had a few little little incidents like we did with Lily Orde. Couldn't really help it. Massive tank slapper, put him straight into the side of John McCutcheon. But I think the standard of the league overall this season has been very clean. There hasn't been many complaints. You know what it's like when sometimes with leagues, Luke, people can kick off because they want to be the winner, and this league's not like that. They're all very community based, and I think that's probably what shines it out from the rest, to be fair.
Yeah, that's great. That is a great thing to hear about this league, because, you know, we've all been in leagues that can quickly turn toxic. But, you know, I kind of have a theory on that. I am of the opinion that the more barriers there are to entry, or the more difficult it is, the better the racing can be. And the SR8 at least, which is the one we're running here today, is not an easy car to drive. I've never raced it because I've been too chicken, but I've tried driving it in practice, and it is really tricky, particularly on the brakes and on corner entry. It's so easy for the rear to get light, but if you know how to use it, you can be really
Mm.
fast, carry a lot of speed through the corner, and get back to the power very early for a great exit. I gotta say, I'm no Ty Kim or David Kiriakopoulos, Kiriakopoulos, sorry,
That's all right.
but or John McHutchinson. Wow, just 123.295. I'm not at those guys' levels, so I definitely can't really handle a car like this. But
Mm.
when you get a group of guys together who can, they can put on some great racing.
I think that's the thing. I used to race in this league back in its first sort of format a year ago. Wow, nearly a year ago already. And you know, I wouldn't be anywhere near these guys. Some of the people that race with me are still going now. So Sandro's still here, Graham Brown, David Rolleston. You know, other people are new to the series as we see what Stephen Place has been up to in Team Radline there. Just coming into the last chicane, takes too much and spins it round, gets the car out the way. Now, I'm nowhere near these pace. Now, the thing is as well that with me is I've jumped in the new SR10. I went and bought it. I thought I would enjoy it. I absolutely cannot stand that car as we see David Waters and Eric Hanoi coming close together in the entry on 5 as they're going to go up in here. I don't like it. I can't get to grips with the SR10.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven it. I gotta say, I didn't mind it. It did seem pretty understeery, but you know, if you're used to the SR8, I imagine it probably drives like a pig to you. I mean, I found it like reasonably fun, but I definitely miss the sound. I mean, the turbo spooling and blow off valve, that's always nice, but nothing like a screaming V8.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't get to grips with it. The thing is, the problem is as well is in the SR8, you can use the gear change to be able to slow the car down, and you know you can brake and change down, and it will bring the car down with you. As we see, David Waters looking at up the inside of Hanoi, nothing doing there. In the SR10, you can't do that. You've got to wait for the car to dip below a certain amount of revs before you can change down. Now, that's my problem. I engine brake a lot as well as using my own pedal. So I thought, right, so I've got to go out. I'm at Road Atlanta here, you know, long uphill turn 1, go into the chicane at 2 and 3. Every single time that car, because I couldn't slow that car down through engine braking, that car did not stop at the top of the hill of Road Atlanta. It shot me off every single time. Out of an official race, I ended up with some unruly amount of incidents because I just could not get that car to brake. When I broke harder, the back end went round. When I didn't brake enough, the car didn't slow down, and it just, no. Me and the SR10, I've got this love-hate relationship. I love commentating on the racing with the SR8 because I think it's amazing. I just don't like driving the car. And I know I'm not going to be popular in YouTube or in the comments after this broadcast. I'm sorry. It's just not my idea of a great car. Not fun for me.
Now this battle for third is getting really good now. David Walters all over the back of Eric Hanoi, and you got to think he's going to be making his move any moment now. Oh, that could be just the mistake he needed right there. Hanoi gets a little bit loose on entry, too much curbing, and Walters going to try it up the outside on the next corner. Looks like he just might have it, but that gives Hanoi the inside line again. Oh, and just got him cleared. Ooh, might have forced a little check up there, but he's got the spot.
David Waters taking around the outside of the complex of 2, 3, and 4. Got the job done over Eric Hanoi due to Eric making a mistake on that one as well. There has been looking like Sandro Capella's got himself involved in an incident. So let's see if we can have a look back at that one as well. It's notified that he has had an incident. David Waters now has got about 5.5 seconds to make up on Ty Kim. Eric Hanoi dropped out to about 6 tenths. Mike Buson is out of the race. So there we go. Yep. Mike Buson coming in. Timer to grid froze. Tried to reboot the game, but was stuck in the session, which is exactly what I was talking about, Luke, off camera, where I said to you I could still hear the cars, but I couldn't see the session.
Odd. Must think iRacing might have something going on here. But Ty Kim closing in on Kyriakopoulos for the lead. On the previous lap, Ty Kim set his personal best, and the leader was a few tenths off of that. So this could change at any moment. I wonder if the car's handling is coming back to him. As you see Damien G off in the chicane again. He's really struggled there today.
Yeah, I think that's up
But
into the chicane after turn 6 before they go into turn 7. So poor old Damien G there is not loving this currently at the moment. I'm sure he'll settle down. It might be worth diving into the pits, Mr. G. Go and get a pit stop. Settle yourself down a bit. So
might also be worth avoiding the leftover Chinese food next time.
Maybe.
I don't know if he's superstitious, but that couldn't hurt.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's the problem, Mr. G. You eat too much before you get in the rig. Slows you down.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But there you go. We're still back up with David Waters, Eric Hanaway. This is your battle for second and third place. Third and fourth, sorry, place respectively. These guys are literally half a second apart, as are the leaders. So there you go. So we're going to be paying close attention as we've got literally 104 on the clock. We should start seeing pit stops very, very shortly. John McHutchison has pitted, Lily Orde's pitted, Stephen Place has pitted. Obviously, as we've discussed, Mike Bousson is out, and so is Christopher Bjertnæs. So it's going to be an interesting one to see now when these cars start pitting, but it's not going to be long, Luke. I think within the next sort of 10 minutes, we should start seeing pit stops.
Now, if you're Ty Kim in this situation, closing in on the leader, do you try to make the pass now, or do you bide your time? Do you wait and count on getting a better in lap, a better out lap on your pit stop than him?
I think if Ty's managed to save fuel, or even just a lap of fuel, I would literally let Dennis go into the pits and see if I could do one more lap, just to try and open up a gap. We know Ty's fast. We know we can do a 122. So I would allow Dennis, if I'm fuel saving behind him, I would allow Dennis to go in, try and take that extra lap. I think that would be what my plan would be. In YouTube chat, the Radical is a starter LMP2 car. Yes, that's what they say. If you can drive a Radical, you can jump in the LMP2 and do the same job. So, there you go. Do you drive an LMP2?
I do, and I actually love it. That's also one of my favorite cars on iRacing. But you say it's a starter LMP2, but in my opinion, it's a lot trickier than an LMP2. And I think if you can drive a Radical and drive it well, you can probably drive just about anything.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with the Rad is, it is a tricky car. And as you say, if you can get to grips with it, you could probably jump in most cars and drive them. They say it's a starter LMP2, but the LMP2 is, well, a lot more downforce dependent, and than this thing with one rear wing and not a lot else. You know what I mean? It's a downforce thing, but it's really how you get to grips with this car. If you grab it by the horns and say you're not going to get out of control, I'm going to keep control of you, then I think you can drive it. But when you start being almost too soft with a wheel or too worried that your back end's going to slide out, because it does happen quite a lot, I think that's where you struggle within the Radical itself. I think you really kind of need to get hold of that car and say, right, I'm going to throw you into this corner and you're going to stick because I'm going to make you. And I think that's the thing with this car. I think you really need to grab hold of it, because if you're too soft with it, it's like a puppy. If you don't house train it soon, it's going to pee all over your house. Do you know what I mean? I think that's where that's the Radical for me. Personally.
That's probably why the fans of the car love it so much, because of that raw nature, the kind of test of bravery and skills, and yeah, it's almost you versus the car, not you with the car, Yeah,
exactly. Alphonse Ruiz in chat. Where are you, young sir? Anyway, how are my girls today? Well, your girls are crashing, unfortunately. John McHutchinson's down in 10th place after him and Lily Orde having a coming together. Poor old Damien G is not liking the chicane at turn 5 currently, and seems to be struggling on there pretty much most laps. Lily Orde is down in 11th place as well, as I say, being involved in a couple of contacts, one with John and one with Marco Tolman in turn 1 and 2 respectively. So, you know, they're doing all right. Sandro Capella is in 8th, currently up 2 on his grid spot. So there you go. They've been working hard, your guys, and, you know, plodding along as we're focusing on the Dennis Kyrgiakopoulos Taikin battle here for first place. 0.39. 1 point come down. It's now gone back up to nearly half a second. There you go. Here as they guys go heading around turn 2 on this run round to 3 and 4. An hour remaining. I'm expecting a flurry of pit stops very, very shortly here from these guys. We'll see Ty Kim take a little bit of gravel on his exit there as well. But the pit stops will be happening very, very shortly. Kyrgiakopoulos still out in front. Kim in 2nd. Walters 3rd. Hanoi 4th. Tolman 5th. Rollison 6th. Truby 7th. Capella 8th. Brown in 9th. And McHutchinson in 10th place. Gary Truby from BSR having a lot better run than his teammate Damien G down in 13th place. So there we go. That is your current championship standings. This is your closest battle currently on track. As you can see from the track map on the right hand side, there are cars that are spread out a little bit at the moment, so we are focusing on 1 and 2. However, Stephen Place and Damien G are quite close together currently as well, about 1.4 second gap between them guys. So let's see how this one materializes here. Would you not try and fuel save though, Luke? I think, you know, if you're in Ty Kim's position, you've got to be trying to fuel save a little bit when you following Dennis for this amount of period of time.
Maybe a little dish to try that overcut, just extending the stint one more lap. You see David Rolliston went off, kept it going. I don't think he's damaged too badly.
No.
Yeah, he looks all right.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a look.
One interesting wrinkle to keep your eye on. John McHutchinson back in 10th. Oh, here's the replay of Rolliston. Takes a lot of curb there. Just get loose on exit.
Oh.
Well, that is going to be some damage, likely costing him some downforce. But, you know, it's not far from the scheduled pit stops, so he'll be able to duck in soon, take that fast repair without too much time loss. But one interesting wrinkle to point out is John McHutchinson in 10th, or who was in 10th before David Walters pitted. He's been catching the leaders. I mean, over the last about 15 minutes or so, he's shaved about 3 seconds out of that gap. And he's running really good lap times and faster than like the next 5 cars ahead of him. So I don't know if he'll have enough to really catch the leaders, but if he filled up his car more than they did, or than they had early on in the race, he could have a shorter pit stop coming up. So maybe, or maybe he could pass them when they pit and hold them up or something. And you know, there's no telling when the strategy might cycle him out.
Well, his pit stop was about 53 seconds, so probably long enough to bang in quite a few amount of fuel. Pit stop time, that was his pit lane time. Pit stop time was about 17 seconds, so he's probably gone as high as he possibly can. But I think Ty Kim's got damage there on the front left of his car. Not sure where that one come from, but Ty Kim, you see the front left fender there, Luke? It's all a little bit bent up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And his last lap was a 125.7. It's a good bit slower than he'd been running. So I wonder if he maybe got into our leader here, or if some other mistake. No, Dennis's car looks fine. Don't see any damage on that 82 machine, but yeah, it's that left front is definitely going to be costing him some time. If I were him, I would definitely abandon the overcut strategy. Come in right now, take that fast repair, get your fuel and tires, and try to minimize the damage.
Yeah, here we go. We're trying to think maybe this might be the one where he got the damage, because his left is not damaged, front right is not damaged there. He's gone over the curb, up over the hill as we're coming now around the butt 6, going into 7. Oh!
Wow. Just too much curb. Wow, I didn't know that this
That's-
track could do that. Just an aggressive curb strike, really.
Yeah.
Damaged him that badly.
Wow. There we go.
Got to be careful in these really low, almost prototypes.
Yeah, it's a weird one. That it bounced, done so much damage on his car because that front left is, or front left as we're in the car is pretty damaged. But that could explain why Dennis has opened up a 2.4 second gap. So there we go. The guys are going to have to be careful. Sandra Cabela is under a second now behind David Rolliston. Kiriakopoulos there, sector times over Ty Kim. Kim is slower, sector 1 and 2, faster in sector 3 and 4. So there we go. We have to keep an eye on them sector times as well as keeping that. Mike Booson, well, I will just sit back and enjoy the broadcast, I suppose. Oh, Mike. Deep apology. Mate, I feel like I should say sorry, but it clearly doesn't really mean a lot coming from me because I'm not controlling your system. But what happened to you, Mike, is exactly what I was talking about earlier on. The system crashed for me, and then I couldn't rejoin the session. I could hear the session, but I couldn't see it. And then I had to task manager everything till basically I could close everything iRacing I could find in my task manager for me to be able to rejoin, because there was a slight panic about 5 minutes before this session started. So there we go. Sandra Cabela is in the pits. Graham Brown is in the pits as well as we're going racing down under the 54-minute mark. So them guys there in the pits. I'm expecting them to get fueled up and come back up. All the while, though, John McHutchison and Anders Liliode have moved up the grid a little bit further, now up into 7th and 8th. Do you know what, Luke? I wouldn't be surprised if we were sat here with the pace of John and Anders Liliode and sat here and said that them guys would be in and around the podium. That wouldn't surprise me one bit, as we can see Dennis Kiriakopoulos in the pits. So John McHutchison is going up around the turn of 6 before he comes into the chicane. He's going to be near or near about, so I'd be very surprised if he overtakes him. I don't think he's got enough on that one, but all the while, Ty Kim takes the lead. But he is going to be about there, Luke, and I think this might be the surprise we're looking for.
It's definitely possible, although Ty Kim is not going to make it easy for him, that's for sure. Just notice that Ty Kim actually set his personal best lap of the race, despite that damage he has on the left front. And but McHutchison is still catching him. He's got that gap down to 47 seconds, whereas about 20-25 minutes ago it was 53 seconds. So you take that plus.
Sorry, Luke. He's going to get him. He's going to get him. He's going to get Kiriakopoulos as well. Dennis should be coming out on the left-hand side of your screen. There he is. But John McHutchison is already passed and is currently sitting in 2nd place. Told you, it's not going to be there or thereabouts, is Mr. McHutchison. It's going to be now what this man can do. Right, he's in the same place. He went into the same place as John is on the map, at exactly the same place where Dennis entered into the pits. So I wouldn't be surprised if these guys are coming out within that close-knit area together. Sorry, Luke, didn't mean to cut you off there, mate, but I just wanted to get they guys could get him back past. So there you go. Alphonse Ruiz, I just got back from the beach, spending all day with the family. Lovely. Well done you, mate. Hope you put on sun cream, though, because it's been quite hot today. Got to be honest. So here is Ty Kim, and we'll keep an eye on John McHutchison on the right-hand side on the track map. Look for number 2. Ty's stationary. We're looking at about, Dennis has gone in for about 1:01, so it's possible that Dennis has pulled a John. Here comes John now. Ty Kim is still stationary. Ty Kim's on his way out. He's on his way out. They're going to come together in the entry into 1 because they're going to be out a little bit further. I think there is John in the background. Ty Kim made it. out of the pits by about 3.15 of a second. And Ty Kim manages to hold on to the lead from the Flying Scotsman that is John McHutchison and from Dennis Kiriakopoulos. Ty is definitely going to have to retake fuel again. I don't believe the people with the pit lane times of over a minute are going to have to fuel. So it's going to be an interesting one here. But I believe Ty Kim may have to fuel again. And so should John McHutchison later on. So stay tuned for this one, guys. It's getting spicy here from Zolder in Belgium with a battle for the front three now. Ty Kim, John McHutchison and Dennis Kiriakopoulos all coming together. So, it's going to get spicy now, Luke.
It is for sure. Although Ty Kim does have a freshly repaired car now, so once he gets going and gets those tires up to temperature, I'd like to see what sort of lap times he can do.
Yeah, he's got to get that car up quick because obviously Johns is already warmed up. Johns is already hot. You know, he's down to about 1.2. He's dropping now every time. Below 1.3 currently at the moment as well. Down to 1.1 here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these lap times as obviously Ty Kim's lap time's a bit irrelevant. He was in the pits. You can't say he just done a 2:02 because he didn't. He was in the pits for that period of time. David Rolliston's in the pits and he's dropping down the order now. Is currently down in 12th place. So Rolliston is on his way back out. There are the sector times currently from Kim and McHutchison. McHutchison has been quicker along these sectors, but as I say, this is the first lap from Ty Kim after his pit stop, really. So he's going to take at least 2 laps to get that car up, and he's lost a massive chunk of time there, Luke. He's lost nearly a second. He's allowed John through. Exactly what he did to Dennis. Exactly that. He let Dennis through.
Yeah, just doesn't want to fight, just wants to ride behind and bide his time. Maybe he is trying that fuel saving strategy that you mentioned, because that is one more point to consider. John pitted so much earlier. You got to imagine that his final pit stop is going to have to be longer than Ty Kim's. Or if it wasn't, then his first pit stop was longer. But actually looking at the time spent in pit lane, they both spent the same amount of time, about 53 seconds and change, almost 54. And Dennis Kiriakopoulos spent 8 seconds longer. And you look at the gap on the leaderboard right now, the gap between him and the lead is 7 seconds. So not sure if he took on more fuel or maybe he just didn't push his entry and exit as aggressively. But that extra time on pit lane could be the difference. And if Kim's got a shorter pit stop than coming up his way, then that means Hutchinson really needs to press his advantage right here and try to pull out a gap, which to his credit, he does appear to be doing. He's got over 6/10 on Ty Kim already.
I do wonder as well, Mike Bousson in YouTube chat, now we have a race, but my wonder there, Mike, as well, I'm just sitting back. We're obviously, so far into the season. We're up to round 8. We've only got a couple left. I'm wondering here whether or not, because Ty Kim joined so late, whether or not this is more of a I don't want to get affected in this championship. Obviously, he's not going to drop to the back of the field and just run round because visually he's quicker than some of these guys. But does he want to get involved with the top 2? Because he did the same move with Dennis at exactly the same point. He let Dennis through. Dennis is above him in the championship. Dennis has been here from the beginning. He's just done the same thing again with John. John is in the championship. John was here from the beginning, and he still allowed him through. I'm wondering whether or not Ty Kim is trying to not get involved with the championship. Maybe.
Or he could just be thinking big picture. We're still not quite halfway into the race. There's a lot of racing left to go, and he could just be keeping that in mind. Better than a lot of drivers in officials, for example, are able to do.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering. Mike, what do we reckon? Mike's put, I think he's fuel saving. I don't know, Mike. I don't know. He put exactly the same place in as he did with Dennis. He hit the brake and let Dennis drive straight through currently. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I don't, if that's their X limit, I'm not entirely sure that's going to take into consideration of contacts there, Mr. Producer. As it just does off tracks. I don't believe it does contacts either. So be just a little bit careful on that information, as I do believe that could be a little bit further out I don't think anybody will be near the 24x limit yet. But it's always close, as we see Graham Brown and Sandro Capella here having this battle. Sandro, for some reason, has had a bit of a rough season, Luke. He hasn't, you know, he's done well in off broadcasts, hasn't liked the broadcasted races. What do we think? Nerves, maybe?
Maybe, or could just be the classic commentator's curse, so maybe we shouldn't spend too much time talking about him, or we'll be getting angry messages from him later. This Steve Hutchinson actually just set the fastest lap of the race, 1:23.24. He is definitely pulling out a gap on Ty Kim right now.
Oh, Ty, we're on board with Ty now. Oh, it's near enough. This is where he did the same thing with Dennis. Look, he just hits the brakes and allows Dennis through. And then I think he done it again. He did exactly the same thing with John. If we go down now to where John got past him, I think he did exactly the same thing again. So I believe, I do wonder, but look, if we keep an eye, come off so we can see Dennis's lights on the, as he goes down on the right-hand side. Same place, just lifts, lets John through, and slots back in behind him. I do wonder if it's the not trying to get involved with the championship. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But we'll have to see there as well. What do we think, Luke?
There is no telling. Oh wow, 1:23.0 from from John McHutchinson. Sorry, Ty Kim running 1:23.7. You know, that could lead credence to Michael Busson's theory that maybe he is fuel saving, because he was running a lot faster than that in the first stint. We know that the car was fully repaired with that fast repair. So that's my bet, is that maybe he's fuel saving, or perhaps just the heavy fuel load doesn't really suit him very well, and he's not really happy with the handling of that machine right now.
Yeah, as well. I think at the end of the day, it's a tough one, because I've still got the producer, Tyler, there, convinced that he had to slow down. Me personally, if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, but I don't know. I don't know. He lifted, and we'll see what happens. But, you know, look, this is John now. He's coming up to lap, I believe that is car number 964 of Anders Lilliorde. It is from the Vikings. I should know that. He's also got it on his rear wing. So Anders Lilliorde there as well allows John through, goes a lap down. So Lilliorde has had a rough part of that sector there, Luke, because he was moving up with John through the field and then kind of dropped out somewhere along the lines. It's currently now 2 pit stops deep and not really managed to stay with John on his climb back through the field.
Yeah, John got around him, and then he began to open up a gap pretty quickly. It looked like the lap time started falling off for Lilliorde late in that first stint. I'm not sure what happened to get him that second pit stop, but I mean, could just be a strategy thing, or maybe things not really going his way right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm looking back. He's gone into the pits twice. So I am wondering if it is a strategy-based decision that he's now fueled up. He's done his first pit stop. He's done his second. So now it's just, I suppose, from his point of view, a straight sprint to the end. So, you know, can Lilliorde hold it is a bit of a different matter. Graham Brown is still locked in with Sandro Cabella. We will bring you that battle. That is currently your closest battle on the track currently. If I'm wrong, I'll delete the comments and pretend it never happened. Integrity is for people on the mic. Nice. Producer Tyler there in YouTube chat.
Now you can't delete the comments because you just immortalized them forever.
Exactly. Tough on that one.
Yep.
There you go. What do we think? These guys have pitted once, Graham Brown and Sergio Cabella. I can still delete him and James looks senile. Well, this is also true, I suppose. John McHutchinson putting in a 1:23.030. Oh, up in the air from Sergio Cabella. There is the slowdown. That would be a slowdown, because I wouldn't be surprised if he's got one for missing the chicane. He's either doing what I would do, though, and carry on driving and just take things a little bit lower rather than hitting the brakes and taking the slow down straight off. But I will expect that he has still got one, and he is still on there trying to get the car. I'm wondering where he's at. If he's on a hairpin, I would take this rather slowly if I've got to slow down. I think that's the thing with some cars with slowdowns, though. Luke, I've got to hit the brake and get rid of the slowdown, or do you look at the track map and think, okay, I've got a hairpin coming up here, I can just take this rather slowly and take off a little bit of time with the slowdown?
Definitely the latter. I try to minimize the time loss for a slowdown as much as I can. Because, if you hit the brakes immediately, like early on the straightaway, that's going to cost you the most possible time, right? But sometimes if other drivers are running faster laps than you, which I believe factors into the amount of time you need to give up for a slowdown, you don't really need to give up that much time, if any at all. I remember there was a corner at Monza, turn 1, for example, you could cut it, get a slowdown, and clear it without even having to check up. But sometimes you might still need to, typically, but you don't have to do it very much. So just lift and coast into the corner a little bit, save a little bit of fuel, and play it safe while trying to give up that time penalty instead of just hitting the brakes, because that's just going to cost you multiple seconds.
Yeah, I don't get when these people, you see it in other racing, and I've seen it in officials where people just kind of hit the brakes. But if you've got a slowdown of about 1.5, by the time you're trying to clear the slowdown, you've cleared at least 2.5 seconds off your time. And I don't get it. I would literally, at turns like that chicane, or coming up where Dennis is coming up into the next chicane, I would just, as you say, lift, coast, brake, take it a little bit slower, clear a little bit of time off, go on to the next bit. Go, okay, well, I can just lift around here, so I'm going to take off a little bit more. And then I'm going to go down full speed all the way down to 8, and I know I can get it off a little bit more there because of the way the corner makeup is of the track. I think for people that, kind of take off the slowdown straight away, and that's what's making me wonder whether or not Ty Kim did have a slowdown, because Ty's an experienced driver. He's above 3.7k here. I can't see that he would take that slowdown at that specific point. I think he would be a run and take the time off as best he can, like we are talking about.
Exactly. So I think there's probably something else going on strategy-wise that's leading him to make that decision. That does make me wonder. Talk to me about the tires and how they last in this car, particularly over this 90-minute race distance. I mean, are you changing tires every pit stop? Are you struggling with the tires late in the fuel run? No,
you basically wouldn't change tires at all. Basically, if you can go, it's the same with any car. If you can get to, if you're in a race that's below an hour, you don't need to change them. So if you can get to your first pit stop, change your tires, fill up with fuel, you shouldn't have to change your tires in the second pit stop at all. By then later on in the race, you might get a little bit slidey, but I wouldn't worry too much. The car takes a couple of laps to heat up anyway, and I've found with this car as well that you can lift off a little bit, do a little bit of a slower time, let the temperatures come down in your tires, and then you can go again. But you know very much when you've hit the cliff, because when you've hit the cliff, there is nothing in this car. Like, you're stopping and nothing's happening, you're turning and nothing's happening. So you know when you've hit it. But if these guys have gone to their first pit stops, which was on lap pit lane, where is the pit stop laps? So Ty Kim did it on lap 27, we're on lap 38. He's still going to be able to keep going, and he should be able to go to the end on the set of tires.
You have to wonder, does McCutcheon need to change tires? Do you think he can go to the end of the race on the set he has right now?
Not unless it's going to be tough if he has to at the end of lap, if he's changed at the lap 1.
Because if he's going to need to take tires, that could be exactly what Ty Kim is thinking about. Just, take it easy, look after the car. I've hit a curb, so that damaged the car. I really don't want to risk doing that again and potentially giving up multiple tenths per lap when I know that McCutcheon needs to take tires again. Or needs to take tires for the first time, actually, and he's going to have either that extra time in pit road or going to spend several laps trying to get them up to temperature, whereas mine are good.
Well, they are going to. They were talking earlier on in the season. We were having this debate about whether or not you can change tyres at the same time you can fuel the car. So while you're fueling, technically, there is tyres that you can take. Now, the question is whether or not you feel you need to take the tyres. I think that's going to be on the biggest thing is what are your tyre temperatures doing when you're going into the pits? Do you need to? Well, to be fair, we're going to probably find out because this is David Walters' second stop. And I would be shocked if he's not just fueling this car. I'd be very surprised if he's taking tyres. Unfortunately, we can't quite see him there as we're looking over the roof. There he is. Because I think it's a debate on whether or not you need to here as well, because he can just, I'm pretty sure he can just fuel. No, he is taking tyres, front and rear. There's his fronts up in the air. Yeah, he has. Changed all four. Well, there we go.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Anything over under an hour, I wouldn't change tyres personally. If I haven't got to, I wouldn't worry. But that's just me. Mike, if you're in chat, let us know. Would you take tyres at both pit stops or would you just take them at one? So let's have a look because they were discussing about the fact if you change tyres, it doesn't do it at the same time and then it slows you down and then your pit stop. And there was a whole long raging debate until somebody clarified that they think they can change tyres and fuel at exactly the same time.
McCutcheon is in the pits, by the way.
Yeah, John
so
McCutcheon is in the pits.
let's see if he's taking tires.
Yes. He's up in the air. Dropped down now into third place. Marco Tolman is coming across the finishing line. John is on the possibility that he will be looking at losing fourth. Is he going to lose fifth? No, because Stephen Place has gone in to the pits. John is on his still stationary. Currently, John McCutcheon still stationary. He's taking a lot of fuel for 33 minutes.
Stationary for 30 seconds.
Yeah, pit lane time
His
of
first
106.
first pit stop he was stationary for 18, and so was Ty Kim. So if I had to guess, I think Ty Kim didn't take tires and is probably planning to not take tires on his next pit stop. So he's probably trying to not necessarily save fuel, but save tires so that he doesn't have to deal with that extra, looks like about 12 seconds on pit road, nor does he have to deal with the cold tires and the outlap, or the several laps that it's going to take to get them back up to temperature.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason Ty needs to really rush this. He's just opened up. You can see the stop count on the left-hand side. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, ones as well. 6 drivers on ones, 4, 5 on twos. So I think at the end of the day, from Ty Kim's perspective, what he needs to be doing now is just going to put in lap after lap after lap after lap. And I think that's what he's got to do. He's got to go and bang in a lap after lap after lap. Because if he doesn't do that, McCutcheon will catch him. We think he's going to need, I would say, he's got a 58 second, what has he got to McCutcheon? 53 seconds currently as well. If he can get in and get out, there's no reason he can't drop that time and pull out in front by about 5 or 6 seconds. That's what I reckon. So if I was Ty Kim, I would just keep going because at the moment, John McCutcheon is going round turn 2 and I'm coming into the final chicane. As we can see, David Graham Brown here in the mix with Capella and Truby. So these guys are still having this battle here tonight.
Ty Kim's coming down the pits.
Has he gone in? He's gone in early.
Yep. Let's see if he's taking tires.
Yeah, he's coming down the pit lane now. John is up in turn 7. Top part and north part of the circuit on 7. I can't see he would risk this. Can we go back into Ty a minute? I just want to see on the fuel, please, Mr. Producer. He has. He's up in the air as well. Dennis is in. Oh no, Dennis is still out in front currently. Ty's got his back end up in the air. He needs to be down now. He needs to be down and gone. Because
His pit stop was 5 seconds shorter than McHutchinson's.
McHutchinson is coming
He's leaving
down.
the pits.
Yeah, he's on his way out now. So Ty Kim is going to get out in front. What? There is John. Yeah, he's only just in front. Ty Kim is a little bit up the road. There is Ty Kim flash through the top part of your screen. I didn't think that they would take tyres on their second one. Well, there you go.
There's David Walters with a damaged rear wing. I wonder what happened to him. He was running fourth for much of the race before his second pit stop.
Just about seeing it in it right about now with a glowing front brake of that Radical.
There's too much exit curb, gets loose, hits that wall hard. Yikes.
Yeah,
it's going to be an extra pit stop for him, and unfortunately that's not far after the entrance to pit lane, so he's got to make pretty much a full lap with the damaged car before he can come in and get that fixed, plus the time that you lose coming down pit road. So definitely not the result that he was hoping for. He was almost a lock for the top 5, it seemed. That's going to hurt his chances quite a bit.
Yeah, so Liliode is out of the race. I'm just going to try and see if I can get him in the booth for a quick chat. And there's Liliode there as well, not happy with his performance in the race. So let's see if we can get him on. And here we are now. I'm going to probably gather that damage there caused him to finish off. So there we go. Let's see if we get Liliode in for a conversation midway through. That would be cool. So let's see if he can. On that one, Sandra Cabela is now up into 6th place. A minute gap to the leader currently as well. John McHutchison's gap's plummeted down to 47 seconds. I would, if I was Dennis, just keep going. Dennis, putting in your lap times with your 1:23.26 fastest lap for you. And I would just keep going because currently at the moment he is 3rd fastest on track behind McHutchinson and Ty Kim. Wouldn't you run it out? Wouldn't you run as long as you could? There's no point coming in early.
Exactly. I got to say I like this strategy from our leader here. Looks like he took tires on his first pit stop. He had a 25-second stop there, and I'm guessing he knows he's good to the end on tires, and he's just going to come in for a splash of fuel. No need to come in early because the longer you stay out there, the more time you spend with a lighter car, and we have seen that the extra fuel load does slow you down. The car seems to be pretty sensitive to weight because it's so light, and currently he actually is running faster than both Ty Kim and John McHutchinson. He was a few seconds back before that pit cycle, but if he's just coming in for a splash, he's got a shorter pit stop, and he doesn't have those outlaps of the cold tires, so he could possibly leapfrog them on pit strategy here.
Yeah, I think that's the thing we're going to have to look out for, because I would just run this car now. I've got this lead. My times are near enough round where they need to be. You would just run it and run it and run it. And I think if he can jump these guys by taking a shorter pit stop for the last 27 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis is fueled up a hell of a lot, because don't forget he puts nearly 7 seconds, we said, didn't we, extra fuel in. So he can run for a lot longer, and if he doesn't have to change tyres, he will literally just go into his pit box and come back out again. That's it. He stopped. So, yeah, I think Dennis could get this.
That's a good point. Although, remember, he has to do it before the last 10 minutes of the race.
Oh, yeah.
So he can't just pull a Williams and wait till the last lap. But meanwhile, we've got an interesting battle shaping up here for currently 3rd on the track, but really that should be 2nd overall on the running order. Potentially the lead, depending on what happens with Kyriakopoulos, because we know Tolman running in P2 right now needs to pit again. But McHutchinson all over the back of Ty Kim here, and he's not going to let him forget that he's there.
No, but Ty is not letting him, making it easy as well. As it just said in YouTube chat, he keeps placing his car on the inside. there's no reason for him to not defend this position, because now we're into the latter stage of the circuit, of the race, sorry. So Ty Kim's well within his rights to defend as much as he can now. You know, as we said earlier, there might be a little bit of whether or not he was going to get involved with the championship, but he's still racing. So why shouldn't he? I suppose is the way to look at it.
Very good chicane exit from John McCutcheon there. He might be able to make a move here. He's going up the inside, late on the brakes. Ooh, that was close. That was almost contact. But he backs out. Ty Kim holds on to the spot.
Yeah, there is David Rolleston there. He's just been passed by our third and fourth man. Ty's looking like his rear end of that car is a little bit slidey. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one and see if he can hold it on the race track, because he does look like he's pushing that car hard in the Radical this evening. So there we go. Have to see what happen, see how that one pans out. As we can see, Sandro Capella here with Gary Truby, with Graham Brown. Gary goes in, Sandro carries on, and Sandro unfortunately gets almost tunnel visioned from Gary Truby going in, and misses his braking point into the chicane. But again, so easily done, Luke, isn't it? Anything we're seeing is easily done. You know, the guy in front, and literally, he just missed it. He took his focus. He took his focus.
Gotta wonder if McCutcheon is just trying to make him. Sorry there, but I wonder if he's just trying to make Ty Kim nervous, taking a peek at the inside, even if he's not necessarily intending to go for it. I do think that messed up Ty Kim a little bit there. You see him in his mirror, and you're wondering, is he gonna dive bomb me? Is he gonna try it? And it could be just trying to get in his head a little bit right now.
Yeah, I think from Kim's point of view, though, you know, they're 48 seconds back at the moment from Kiriakopoulos. You know, Tolman's 41 as we're looking at the replay of Tolman. This is him probably going down, into turn 5. Marco Tolman.
Curb and just unsettled the car.
Too much curb, unsettled the car, and that's it. He's lost a bit of time. The guy, Kim McCutcheon, is only 6 seconds behind him. So, yeah. Here we go. We have to see how this one pans out. We're keeping an eye on now. We've got coming into the last 23 minutes. Kiriakopoulos is in. He's in. This is going to be the one.
It'll be interesting to see where he cycles out. I was just about to point out that while Ty Kim and John McCutcheon were battling for the position there, they were actually running a little bit slower lap times than our leaders, so he might cycle to the front. We'll have to see.
I don't think so. I think Dennis is going to get out here. I think he's going to get out. Don't let me down, Dennis. I've got your back here, mate. Come on. Come on, Dennis. They're going into the last chicane. Oh, John McCutcheon and Ty Kim. Why are you there? He's not going to get. He's coming out now. He's coming out now, isn't he? No, he's not.
Stopped 25-second pit stop. So about the same as Ty Kim and a little bit shorter than McCutcheon's last one.
So Tolman's now out. That's way too long. Why? I don't get that. 22 minutes remaining. That's
I don't know how long it takes to fit fuel there, but I never saw the car go up. I don't think he changed tires.
He went in.
Unfortunately,
he went in 6 laps later, 8 laps later, and only took 4 seconds less of fuel. That doesn't seem right. That seems way too long. He should have been in the first pit stop time of John McCutcheon and Ty Kim, where they were doing barely 44 seconds, as Eric Hanoi has done a 44-second on his second pit stop. That's where I was expecting Kiriakopoulos to be. Not up at the 1 minute 2s. That seems a little bit long. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure because like I said, I've never raced these. I don't know much about how long it takes to take fuel, tires, etc., or what the strategy was. I mean, it could have been just an accidental overfill. That's something that's an easy mistake to make, or uh, perhaps we just misjudged the amount of time it takes for pit road activities. But unfortunately, that does look like it is possibly taking him out of contention for the battle for the lead here. So that means that this match between Ty Kim and John McHutchinson is going to be the battle for the lead once Marco Tolman makes his mandatory second pit stop.
Mm. That's really thrown me out because he's now 7 seconds longer, goes 8 laps longer, takes a pit stop time of only 4 seconds shorter, and then yet comes out 7 seconds behind them.
Yeah, I really don't understand that because he was stationary in pit lane for just as long as Ty Kim was, only 300ths less, which is virtually identical. And Ty Kim took tires on that second pit stop, whereas I don't believe Kiriakopoulos did.
Mm. Yeah. Bizarre. I'm sure we'll try and catch up and see if we can get some information there. I was on the understanding that one of the guys was going to, Mr. Glueskick, earlier on said he was going to come and jump in chat with me. Let me just see if he's going to pop in here for a chat as we try to grab a hold of some people. But I'm probably guessing, as I say, that was some form of mistake from Dennis. Marco Tolman is going to have to take his pit stop within the next 9 minutes. Currently 5 seconds up the road, to be honest. Marco, I'd probably jump in. You got a massive gap behind 4th place, mate. You could still salvage 4th. As we see McHutchinson now looking to take the inside line from Ty Kim. They're going to come into the chicane. There's going to be no room. Oh, they're round. They're going to go left. Oh, nearly side by side. John cuts his nose off. Ty comes the other way. He's going to take John round the outside now. Is there going to be space left here? Are they going to make this through? John,
they
touched. Ty and John there. John hit the accelerator again to get going. And unfortunately, his back end started going there as well. There's Dennis in the background now. He's pulled a little bit of time back. He's only 4 seconds back now from these guys who are still 8 seconds back from Tolman. But McHutchinson and Kim still having this epic battle here for what is theoretically first place as John McHutchinson goes back through. Ty lets him through again.
Wow, what a great job from McHutchinson holding onto that car. That's a very tricky spot to get loose. So here's a replay of that incident. Really close together. Just the lightest of touches. Great job holding on to that. Just hard racing, really. I mean, both drivers trying to drive respectfully, leaving room. I really don't know who I would put that on. Honestly, that's just, I think, what you'd call a classic racing incident. It's just, I don't think Ty Kim meant to do that. But glad it was able to be sorted out and continue on cleanly. That might have been why Ty Kim let McHutchinson go, because before that, he really wasn't just letting him by. He was defending position cleanly, and maybe Ty Kim is the type of driver he's thinking, all right, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to be the guy who takes positions by running into somebody and getting them loose, almost wrecking them. So here, you can go by, and I'll try again because that should be your spot, and I'm going to see if I can take it back from you cleanly.
Yeah. See how that one works out, but he's closed right back up again. He's taking a lot of curb. There's Dennis in the background. Marco is still not in the pits. Got about 6 minutes to take it here tonight. So I'm sure Marco Tolman will jump in at some point as we see this battle heating up. 16:28 on the clock. We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. Marco Tolman in first. John McHutchinson second. Ty Kim third. Dennis Kiriakopoulos fourth. Eric Hanoi in fifth. Gary Truby sixth. Steve Blaze, 7th. Graham Brown, 8th. Sandra Capella in 9th. David Rolliston down in 10th. And David Walters, 11 laps down. He had 10 minutes of repairs. He's taken a shower and they're still fixing his car. That's what he said. So, yeah, so David Walters is still being fixed, I think.
Just noticed Ty Kim's got some right front damage this time. He might have taken too much curb once again. So that's definitely going to be hurting him, but... Oh, yeah, and he gets a little loose there. Going to hurt his front downforce a little bit, but we'll see if he can still hang on. I don't know if the draft is going to be very effective here in this car. I can't imagine it being a huge effect. But I did notice after he had that damage, it looked like it took a few laps when he took too much curb in the first stint, but he kind of got a handle on it and was able to run just almost as fast as he had been before. But that lap right there, 124.2 compared to McHutchinson, almost 3/10, or a little over 3/10 off. So probably not ideal in the handling department for him.
Yeah, you would have expected him to have damage on the front right as we're looking at it. Here we've got Ty Kim. Ooh, could that be where that damage come from?
It could be. The car definitely looked very tight in the next corner, although that could just be because of the tires being dirty. But great job from Ty Kim holding onto that car. It's definitely some good driving. It would have been very, very easy to spin right there in that spot.
Yeah, he's now got to close in Dennis Kiriakopoulos of about, he's got a gap of about 1.4 seconds currently as well here tonight. So Dennis is closing up. John is out in front currently at the moment. I've got a bug in my booth that's driving me absolutely crazy. So there you go. Everybody's got something going on currently at this moment in time. Sorry. Oh, one of them dreadful bugs that just keep flying around you and won't leave you alone. So McHutchinson currently in front, Kim in second, Kiriakopoulos third. I think that could be, bar making a mistake, your top three as we go into the last 13 minutes. So there we go, up and running, 13 minutes remaining, Luke. It's been an interesting one so far, isn't it? We've seen some interesting battles, we've seen some interesting fuel strategies, we've seen some interesting random parts of damage appearing on cars, as we saw there with Ty Kim. He's had damage on the front left, which randomly appeared, and on the front right as well. So he's had damage on both sides of his fronts by taking too much of these beautiful little things that we call curbs. And unfortunately flicked the car up on the right hand side. So, you know, he's had a lot going on. He's maintained second place, 1.3. However, there is Dennis behind. The gap out to Dennis has opened up to about 1.98. Gap to John is closed down now to about 1.4. So it's been a good race from these guys, haven't they? They've been put on the show. We said about concentration earlier on. And I did mention to you as well, I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at a John McHutchinson podium. And right about now, we're looking at a John McHutchinson victory.
Yeah, really incredible performance from him. I mean, great recovery drive. Fighting his way back up to the front, racing hard with Ty Kim. Like you said, it has been a great race. And, you know, it's not over yet. Depending on the lap, sometimes Dennis Kiriakopoulos is actually running faster than Ty Kim, occasionally even gaining on our leader, John McHutchinson. So it seems like that McHutchinson has it won, perhaps. I mean, I hate to call it 12 minutes early, but I definitely don't think the battle for second is over yet. With Ty Kim having that damage, that's probably going to cause him some issues, and wouldn't be surprised if he pushes hard trying to catch McHutchinson. I know he can still see him. He's right there. And maybe he makes a mistake. And if he does, Kiriakopoulos is all over him. So the podium is definitely not settled, not even close.
Absolutely. 11:43 remaining. Let us know, guys, in chat who you think's going to win as we see Graham Brown. Oh, he's avoiding Stephen Place. Place had gone round earlier on. Please don't make contact. They haven't, and that is Graham Brown taking it there. Did Graham Brown lose it going up into the chicane? He didn't. Let us know in chat who you think's going to win. Let's have a hashtag John, Ty, or Dennis I'm going to say first names because some people, you know, the hashtag McHutchinson or Kyriakopoulos might be a little bit of a type, you know, bit of a type mouthful for you. But if you could just do hashtag John, Ty, or Dennis, who you feel is going to win this evening, that would be absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for that. And if you are watching here live, don't forget to follow, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bells for notifications, give the video a big old thumbs up. And if you are watching it back, do the same thing. It's free. It's not going to hurt. And you'll be first to know when the FBL goes live, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss any of what is coming up currently from the FBL community. You're going to want to stay tuned, because I can tell you what, there's some big changes happening here within this league. So you need to be up and running, ready to jump on this information, because it will be absolutely incredible. And join us, don't forget, on the 14th of August. So next week we go off to Bathurst for round 9, and then on the 28th of August, yes, we do miss a Sunday. Why do we miss a Sunday? It's because it's my birthday, and there's no commentary on my birthday on the 21st of August. So we do miss the 21st, but we do come back on the 28th for the season finale at Interlagos. So stay tuned for that one. As I say, hit everything that you should be able to hit subscribe, follow, and give the video a big old thumbs up. And you will be up to date with everything going on currently there as well. So last 9 minutes, Luke. Dennis has dropped out a little bit from Ty. Ty's closed up a little bit to John. What do we reckon? Could there be a change within the last 9 minutes?
You know, I think there could be. It's hard to predict. Oh, Ty Kim just took a lot of curb right there. I wonder if he made his front damage any worse. Or if maybe that's a tactic he's using. He's thinking, hey, I've already got some damage. What's a little more? It's not going to hurt it anymore. Oh, really loose there. That is going to hurt him. That cost him a lot of time. So he needs to settle down and see what he can do. See if he can reel in John McHutchinson. But, oh, man, it's tough. It's tough. McHutchinson is putting on an incredible performance today. And you can't really afford to make mistakes and catch him right now.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be doing that. The problem is Dennis dropped out so much time that he could have capitalized on that with Ty, but he just seemed to be that too far back, and he's dropping back now. It's 4 seconds, 7 seconds to John. You know, he's looking like he may have settled for third place, should we say. As we see, Damien G still in the pits, been in the pits for about 26 minutes, Mr. G. So, you know, Damien, you could come and say hello in the booth, like, you know, have a chat with us. That would be nice. You know, come and have a chat with the boys in the booth as we keep an eye on Graham Brown here and see what Graham has been up to. He's been off track, I can tell you that much. And there we go, around he goes. He's going to get an off track and a slowdown for his troubles. So there we go. My little old bug has come back again. Lovely, delightful little creature, which I'm now squishing, or trying to get a hold of anyway to squish. 7.5 minutes, Ty Kim in second, John McHutchinson in first. That is one of the Moving Matters cars, I believe. That is probably Graham Brown. Oh, no, Graham's locked in his battle, so that might actually be David Rolliston there in front of us currently as well. How would you say, though, Luke, overall, like, this track from a fatigue point of view, you know, it's a tough track. Would you say fatigue is kind of kicking in?
Very possible. It definitely looks like a tricky track, and you know, it's hard to maintain a very high level of focus for over an hour and a half. I mean, already done 84 laps or 84 minutes of racing almost, plus practice and qualifying. I could imagine fatigue setting in and it becoming easier to make those mental mistakes.
Yeah.
As I say that, Ty Kim has just gone purple in Sector 2, so he is not giving up on John McHutchison, that's for sure.
Yeah, get down to 2.5 seconds now. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how this materializes in the last 6 minutes here from these guys from the FBL Radical Endurance Championship from Circuit Zolder, round 8. It's been an absolutely incredible race. John McHutchison, who currently is leading, was at the back of the field at the end of turn 1. So let's not forget he was all the way down in 15th place at the end of turn 1. So just to let you know that he has climbed all the way back up into the lead.
Off track there.
So there we go. Kim's not giving up though. 2.9 to go.
No, he's not. But like you said, I mean, possibly fatigue is setting in, and we're seeing him making more of those mistakes. It could be the tires wearing on him a little bit, or just, you know, the rigors of a long race like this. It's pretty hard to maintain focus and run that fast, because he's definitely shown flashes of it. He's shown that he has the speed, and it's got to be incredibly frustrating knowing he has the speed to catch him, and then you make a mistake and you lose time, and you want to push harder to make up for that time. Here's a battle for 6th, by the way, between Gary Truby and Stephen Placed. Placed faster in Sector 1, and it's brought that gap down to under a second.
Yeah, he moves over for John McHutchison from his Team Radlight teammate. Is he going to be as accommodating for Ty Kim as he was for John? So we know John and Stephen are from the same team. Ty Kim is obviously a privateer, so is Dennis. So it'll be an interesting one to see how that one materializes as well. I believe Dennis Kiriakopoulos has made another mistake. That is why he's dropped down a little bit further. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that one as well and see. But yeah, Ty Kim's dropped back a little bit as well. So I think he's made a little bit of an off-track error as well. Now Gary Truby is next up for John McHutchison, and that will allow Truby and Place to resume their battle. Truby did the right thing there. He didn't give John that much room to pull ahead before he slotted it behind him, because otherwise Stephen was going to take the position away.
Exactly, yeah. You got to respect the blue flags. I see David Walters coming into the pits.
Yeah, he's got bad damage.
I think this will be his 4th pit stop, so definitely not his race tonight.
No, he has said, as I say, he went off earlier, didn't
he? You have to respect the blue flags. Oh, I think Stephen Place is clearing a slowdown?
No, it's Ty Kim.
Ty Kim by.
Yeah, okay. Ty Kim's going through, so he's respecting the fact that Ty Kim has got up behind him. He can resume his battle with Gary Truby. Really, all he's got to do is just stay close to Ty Kim. Oh, Kim, get going. Get going.
Now, if I was Stephen Place and I just let Ty Kim go, that would make me pretty frustrated.
Yeah.
I already gave up the time to let you by, and then gave up the time again when you made a mistake right in front of me. That would irritate me, watching Gary Truby get further away for sure.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, although you have to respect the blue flags, you can be strategic with it a little bit with how you do it. Maybe don't move over at the beginning of the straightaway, but like lift a little early for the corner, so the leader can get by you quickly and easily, but you lose as little time as possible to the car you're battling. And that has allowed Graham Brown to catch up on Stephen Place, I believe.
Yeah, so we're going to end up with a three-way battle here between Stephen Place, Gary Truby, as long as Ty Kim can clear him. We've got 2:13 on the clock remaining. Lap times 1:23. Leader should just about get across the line before that 1:23, so we should have one more, unless we're gonna... No, it's going to be close, I think, but it might be all right to get across before we have the last lap. I can't even get on to the topic of blue flags within this game, because it just completely frustrates me. Lucky enough we do a lot of league racing, and lucky enough blue flags are respected. People jump out the way like they do there. Not so much when you're driving an official. And we are going to have one more race, John. One more lap. This one and one more before we enter into the last lap. And I think that's the difference between leagues and officials, is the leagues do respect blue flags, and they do make their consented effort to get out of the way. You know, I saw a Reddit post the other day, and it turned into a massive thread in there because obviously, you know, people were saying about, yes, this and that and this and that, and then I popped in with a completely different opinion to others. And, you know, for these guys, for me, do a stellar job with blue flags. They jump out of the way, slow down when they can, and just move. And that way, that allows, as we see Truby bounce that curb there. Stephen Place is going to be looking at coming up beside him currently at the moment as they're racing down into 7. It's not going to be this time around. But I tell you what, though, for the last lap of the race, this is going to be very interesting for Truby and Place and also Brown there from these guys as they go racing down into turn 8 currently at this circuit, Zolder. What's your feeling on blue flags, Luke, as we're going into the last lap of the race, probably?
Well, it makes me kind of wish that there were different rules for the different series. I think the sporting code in iRacing is a little too broad. Now, I am American, and I do kind of have the American interpretation of it, where particularly in oval racing, the blue flag doesn't mean get out of the way. It means hold your line and be steady and predictable because you don't know what's coming up behind you, particularly like on dirt oval, which is where I came from. You don't have mirrors, so you can't really see what's going on, and there could be first and second battling too wide right behind you, and if you try to move out of the way to the top or the bottom, you could be blocking one of them. You need to be holding your line and steady so that they can go around you. And I also can respect that if you're fighting to stay on the lead lap, I think you can fight for that. After one lap, if you're more than one lap down, you shouldn't really be fighting with the lead lap cars, in my opinion. But it's more of an F1 thing, really, where it's like just get out of the way, because those cars have the very high downforce and dirty air is very, very bad. But
see,
as long as you're respectful with it, it's fine, I think.
That's, to me, is what it should be. If you are a lap down, you know, you're generally out of the race anyway, or you're further back, or something's happened, regardless if you're slow or you've had an accident. Can we pick up on John McHutchison? He's going to be coming across the line very, very shortly. We'll carry this conversation on in a minute because blue flags is a contentious topic in my head. So there we go. John McHutchison comes from last to first after a turn 1 incident. Goes across the line. Ty Kim in second place there. Dennis Kiriakopoulos. Gary Truby just hangs on from Stephen Place and Graham Brown. Dennis Kiriakopoulos comes across in third. Marco Tolman there finishing in 4th place. He is just coming around turn 8. As we can see there as well, David Rollison will be coming across the line. He's going to get finished as well in 10th. There is David Rollison. And then we're going to have, there is Marco Tolman. Stellar job from Marco. Kept it up, done what he kind of had to do and finished in 4th place, so well done for him. Sorry, did jump in the shower and go in to find me some food. And I think how I did kill my race, says Anders Liliorde in the Discord chat there. So Eric Hanoi is in 5th place. It's a nice, short, sharp end of the race there for us this evening. So there are the championship standings. Luke, why don't you take us through them?
That's the qualifying results. Hold on just a second. We'll get those championship standings up for you.
Oh, the finishing positions.
All right.
There we go.
So here's the race results we just summarized. Apologies again for joining as a driver instead of a spectator. So I didn't actually finish 16th. I wasn't supposed to be running this race.
Good job. 64 laps down, mate. Close to the lead. Off you go.
I could have had him.
Could have had him.
Dang blue flags. All right, so here's the race results. We got John McHutchison winning, Ty Kim 4.5 seconds back, Dennis Kiriakopoulos 13 back, and then 4th place is Marco Tolman, Eric Hanoi in 5th, Gary Truby in 6th, Stephen Place in 7th, and Graham Brown in 8th, followed by Sandro Capeller in 9th, David Rolliston in 10th, David Walters in 11th, Anders Oliorde in 12th, Damian G in 13th, Mike Busson in 14th, and Christopher Bjertnes in 15th.
Well, there we go. That is the results for tonight's race. We can see who will jump in for an interview. I want to get a hold of Damien G and discuss Damien G's turn 5. But Damien is not responding to anything that I'm currently asking him. Mr. G, don't hide. Come and say hello. We want to have a discussion there tonight about your race as well. Mike, you're free to come and have a chat with us if you want to. And let's see if one of the guys fancy jumping in to the booth this evening. Why we did now? Yeah. So why we chase down the interviews? My blue flag instructions is fairly straightforward. Now I get ranted at about this all the time. Is if you are blue flagged, apart from in a multi-class race, because multi-class is different. If you're in a blue flag and you're in a single category car race and you're 1 lap, 2 laps, 5 laps, 10 laps, 15 laps down, please remove yourself from my way so I'm able to get past you. There you go. That's the James Parfitt philosophy of blue flags. In multi-class, however, it's a bit different because obviously LMP2 and obviously GT class is slightly different there as well. Wouldn't expect the GTs to jump out the way if they are battling. But there you go. This thing drives me absolutely crazy, this topic. It's such a bad contentious. But then again, I think the problem is, Luke, I grew up around F1, so you're constantly seeing cars getting out the way when they're a lap down. Do you know what I mean? You kind of see how what racing could be, and as it was pointed out into Reddit earlier during the week, that is the only series that apparently forces cars to remove themselves from the way. But there we go. Right, we have got some interviews in the booth. I want to have a chat with this man in third place, Mr. Kyriakopoulos. How are you, young sir?
Hello, James. I'm fine, and you?
I'm not bad. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest with you, because you went in, you filled up 8 seconds longer on your first pit stop. You went 6 laps longer than John and Ty on your second stint, but yet your second pit lane time with just over 25 minutes was still 1:02. And I'm a little bit confused. What happened there? Was there a mistake, or was that just a standard pit stop?
To be honest, James, I was also surprised that after the first pit, he was 8 seconds in front. So I figured that he put less fuel.
Yeah, they did.
I think my fuel calculation was a bit off because I finished with about 10 liters. So that's the first thing. I put too much fuel. And I think the pit entry was not very good because in a previous race I had a penalty and I really didn't want to mess things up like I did with the penalty in previous race. So I was too cautious in pit entry and it cost me some time there too, I think.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I did wonder what had happened with the fuel because you shouldn't have had to. You should have had what we worked out, or what I was looking at is their first pit lane time was about 44 seconds. Your first pit lane time was over a minute. That should have reversed on your second time. So your pit lane time should have only been about 44. Theirs was over a minute, but yours was still over a minute. So we did have a debate whether or not something had gone wrong within your pit stops. But now I know that we possibly got it with his overfuel because you had 10 litres left. Overall, are you happy with your race?
James, I wasn't expecting a top 3 this morning because I didn't even start practice like an hour before the race. So I think I can safely say that I'm very, very happy with the result.
Absolutely stellar job there, Dennis. Now, are you back for next week? Because you know it's getting even more exciting, isn't it? As we go along here, we've only got 2 races to go. You know, you're still within that championship battle. Yes, it's looking more and more difficult as John seems to does pull out victories. But we're going to Bathurst for a 90-minute race at Bathurst. That's a different kettle of fish.
Exactly, and anything can happen in this track. So of course I'm going to be there, and I'm not going to miss another race until the end of the season, James.
Oh, absolutely stellar job there, Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us in the booth, and congratulations on your 3rd place.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Now, I believe I've got Eric Hanoi sat in my booth here. Eric, you know, there's a waiting room there, bud. There's a queue. How are you, young sir? Anyway, welcome in.
Yeah, I did misunderstand, I guess. I didn't know where to go. so suddenly I was on the air, but I've been on the air before, so that's okay.
Yeah, you've been on the air a few times, haven't you, sir?
Yeah, I've been working as a radio host for 25 years and a football commentator for 25 years, so I'm used to being on air.
Yeah, overall though, mate, how did your race go? You did a stellar job, you know, comfortable fifth. But did you enjoy it?
Not really. I was trying for the first time to do John McHutchinson pit strategy. When I went into the first pit, I would fill up for the rest of the fuel, for the fuel for the rest of the race. But then I was really slow for a long time, so I lost a lot of time. So Tallman was behind me before I was pitting, and when after the second pit stop, he was in front of me. So I lost maybe 20 seconds doing that strategy. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to go back to my old strategy, as less fuel as possible on the tank at any time. That's how I've been racing so far. So I should have done that today, but I tried the Hutchinson way, and it didn't work for me.
Well, I think it's a patial thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? John is, you know, is quick. I'm not saying you're not quick, Eric, by any shape or form, but we don't know where John gets the pace from. We put him down as being from an alien, but overall, you know, you've had a fairly decent season. We're going into 2 races remaining. We've got Bathurst and Interlagos. Where do you see yourself in the championship? Because, you know, it's not been a bad one.
Yeah, my goal is to be on the podium, 3rd place. That's what I'm aiming for, and I'm hoping to get it. So with decent results for the 2 last races, I'm going to get it, I think.
Yeah, I think you will. And to be honest, it's, you know, that's well within touching distance for what you should be able to achieve. You know, 90 minutes at Bathurst, though, you've got to keep it out of that wall in the dipper there, mate. Otherwise, you're going to be using them fast repairs quite quickly.
Yeah, well, my strong side as a driver is I very rarely do mistakes. I often drive safe, and that sometimes gives me a lack of pace, but I don't have any accidents. So unless anyone hits me, I think I'm going to be through without incidents or anything. And maybe if the other ones go into the wall, that can help me. But you never know. Certainly I'm in the wall, but usually I don't end up in the wall.
Yeah, exactly. We're just looking at the championship before this race. You're currently 2nd place. Before the race, you're 12 points ahead of Dennis. Obviously, Dennis has finished above you, but all to play for within the last 2 races there. Eric, thank you so much for joining us, and well done on your 5th place.
Thank you.
Right, there we go. That is Eric Hanoi into the booth. Now let's bring in the man who, after turn 1, was down in 15th place. By the end of lap 64, he is your victor, and that is the one and only John McHutchinson. John, welcome in.
Thanks, James.
How are you, young sir? Because, you know, turn 1 didn't quite go so well with Mr. Liliorde, did it?
I don't know what happened. I take it he must have got too early on the power and sideswiped me. You know, I get damaged steering, so thankfully for the fast repair.
Yeah, he basically he come around the corner, his back end went to the right, his car went to the left, and literally you were unfortunately beside him at that point. So, yeah, there was a little bit of contact there. But all in all, though, John, look, you come from the end. Oh, there we go. It just, as you see, probably just see it on, it's just been shown up. You come from the end, you got all the way through to the beginning, you got all the way through back to the lead again. Did you expect that, or was that something that you thought may be possible?
No, because the top 5 in qualifying, there was only a 10th between the top 5, so the guys, they all had good pace. So I was hoping maybe top 5 at best that I would get. So there must have been other incidents with other people.
Yeah, there was. But, Dennis and Ty both had slight damage after taking curbs too much. Damage on the front end of their car. John, you're leading the championship. We've got 2 rounds left, Bathurst and Interlagos. What are you expecting from them 2 races, sir?
Oh, yeah, I like Bathurst. No, I don't so much like Interlagos. So I'm not as fast there for some reason, but Bathurst is real fun. We all like that.
Going to keep it out the walls in the Australian outback there, John?
keep it out the wall, mate, and then we'll do the final jump on the last lap.
Oh,
Right the barrier.
yeah, exactly. Go for it. I want to see you all lined up there, John. But well done, John. Congratulations on your first place, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, James. Good night.
No. Right, so I've got Sandro Capella in the booth. I want to have a chat with Sandro. Sandro, how are you, young sir?
I'm fine. Thanks, James.
That's okay. You know, ninth place, nice and chilled. You know, how was your race?
Oh, it's been for me. For me, it's been fine. I'm came in P9. It's great, but it's just there's no room for errors, no room for mistakes, and so I think I could have been a little more upfront, at least P7, P8, maybe P6. But there's just too many little mistakes from my side.
Yeah, we did try and stay away as much as we can. But obviously you were locked in a battle at one point as well with Graham Brown. So, that was good, clean, fair racing, wasn't it? And that's what we're sort of aiming for within the league itself.
Yes, exactly. It's been great. Also, it's been great to hunt down Gary, but I didn't manage to get past him. And that's when there's no room for errors in the league. The competition is just too tough. And when I came out from my first pit stop, I thought I would be right behind Gary, but he was 8 seconds ahead, I guess. And I managed to close the gap. And then I myself got the message that I have 5 liters left. No, 5 laps left. And I thought he has to go to the pits. And when he went to the pits, I was so happy that I'm right that I just spun out in the corner.
Yes, we saw that. He went into the pits in front of you. And
Yes.
I think at that point I did say that you maybe got a bit of driver tunnel vision there where Gary pulled in and you kind of just lost where you was. But look, we're going in.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was just so distracted from being happy that I guessed right that he would have to go into the pits earlier than me.
Oh, well, there you go. So we've got two
I lost focus.
2 rounds remaining, Bathurst and Interlagos. I just said to John McCutcheon, you've got to be looking at keeping it out the walls in Bathurst. How do you see that track from your point of view?
Well, I never finished the race at Bathurst, so I think that's going to be the race where I join the chat, the live chat on YouTube throughout the race. I don't think I will manage to get this done for 90 minutes.
You will get it done.
With just 2 fast repairs, that's really hard.
You're going to have to just turn around and sit back in that one and think, what would James say? And James would say, be strong, carry on, and get it finished, Sandro Capella, because you should be able to get it done at Bathurst. Experienced driver, come on, you've been around the block, you can complete Bathurst, surely.
Well, I've been just I raced there only once, and that's been for our last season's endurance race. So it's easy up the hill, but it's tough to get down from the hill again. So let's see where we can go.
Okay. Well, Sandro, thank you very much for joining us in the booth, and well done on your 9th place.
Thanks a lot, James.
Right, there we go, guys. And that rounds out tonight's broadcast and the race here from Zolder. Let's have the last word from Luke. Luke, what do you think of the racing?
I think it was a phenomenal race. Very entertaining and interesting to see different approaches on strategy and great battling throughout, clean, respectful racing. It was a great time. And I enjoyed it. This is my first time watching one of the FBL races, and I definitely look forward to more.
There we go, guys. Absolutely stellar job there. So if you are here in chat, thank you so much for joining us. Much love. Don't forget to hit the subscribe, thumbs up, and give the video thumbs up and turn on the bells for notifications. But now, guys, that is it. And all that's left for me to say, as always, at the end of every broadcast, guys, from me, Luke, and producer Tyler, you take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might just see you on the track sometime. Good night.